top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They walk you through it. It's been my experience. What I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Parks Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Parks Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, 1019, 100.5 AM 4, wgnssports.com, Big GTV, stream.
The frustration many are feeling.
Ways at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches for decades. It's the Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's. We'll sit down with the coaches to talk about their most recent games and the matchups ahead. Now from WGNS and Big GTV, it's the Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday. It is September 6th. And football Friday night is going to turn into football Saturday for some. Some games complete and in the book. It was one of the crazier nights of high school football in a while due to the weather. You know, we've been so dry, had perfect weeks. We got ruined with that, didn't we? It was just not a very good night last night weather-wise. Rain and storms rolled in. And let's see. I think I finally hit the bed at about 2, and you know we had those very electrical storms come through last night, and the game's finished, drenched, you know, at Riverdale in the car, waiting in the line to get out from everybody that's there, and tuned in. And right at 11 o'clock, there was a huge lightning strike, and then boom. About 1,000 people without power in Murfreesboro, and it included the radio station. So took a little bit to get that back on, but MTE was pretty quick to do that, honestly, considering everything that was going on. Very electrical storms last night. Of course, that's a problem. If you've got lightning, you've got delays, and we had that all across the board last night. And it's still raining this morning, and we're going to have off and on rain pretty much on until early this afternoon, and then maybe some showers. It is, let's see, 61 degrees right now, and that's not going to get much warmer than that. We'll get into the 70s, it looks like, hopefully. But there were some games that did complete last night, and there were other games that did not. So that's what we're going to talk about here this morning. It was Blackman defeating Riverdale 17-10. Oh, I think it was about a 2-hour delay. I honestly forgot to check, but came back, knew that, I mean, had that game gone into overtime, we would have been in trouble. But 17-10, it was a heck of a game. You can go back and listen to it. We had some rain issues with the video, of course, second half, and but my goodness, what a first half, what a second half, if you were able to see that. Riverdale had a touchdown in the end zone, bobbled, dropped, that would have tied the ball game. Or, you know, at that point, we were kind of talking about, or John mentioned on the air, you know, do you, if you're Riverdale here and score, do you go for 2? So I don't know. That's a question for another day, but it doesn't matter at this point because it was ruled incomplete, and it's 17-10 Blackman on top in that region contest. So that is a final. Also, Oakland-Smyrna a final. Oakland up 35-0, and then the rains came, the lightning came. They went to halftime and determined that with the score and a running clock in the second half and such, that after the 2-hour delay, they would not finish that game, and it would be a final, Oakland 35, Smyrna nothing. Eagle Bowl off and on. I don't know that they had as huge of a rain delay as, or lightning delay, if you will, as we did in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. But Eagle Bowl a winner 42-0 over the Tennessee Heat. It was PCA last night, a win over Grace Baptist Academy, 55-22. I know they were in a rain delay. They did not start until later. with that because they play their home games in MTSU. MTCS did not have a game, so that leaves Stewart's Creek Siegel and Laverne Rockvale. And that Laverne Rockvale game will be at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It will not be at Laverne. It will be at Rockvale. The turf at Rockvale makes a difference in that. So Laverne will travel to Rockvale for that region game, 2 o'clock. And the Stewart's Creek Siegel game will resume at Stewart's Creek at 2 o'clock. There's 9 minutes and 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and they will resume with I've got that score backwards, actually. It's 15-7 Siegel over Stewart's Creek. All right, 15-7 Siegel over Stewart's Creek with 9:16 to play in the fourth quarter. So that is a look at that. We will have a coaches show this morning. It's going to be interesting. We'll have some complete games to talk about with some coaches and where we pick up with others. So that's what we've got planned for you this morning. John's going to take you through the first leg of the show. Danny will come in for a brief moment. He and I are going to kind of alternate with Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, Rockvale, then Siegel, Eagleville, MTCS, but Riverdale, Smyrna, Blackman conversation straight ahead here on the Coaches Show on WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and Big G TV.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
True Blue Raider fans don't settle for just any gear. They shop at Raider Tees, specializing in Middle Tennessee apparel and accessories. No distractions, just pure Blue Raider pride. From t-shirts and hoodies to decals, stadium chairs, and exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. We've got it all. Stop by 111 East MTCS Road right across from MTCS and gear up today. Raider Tees, bigger, better, and go blue.
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I have a sleepy Will Kreisky and a sleepy John Dinkins here with you this morning. I'm telling you, that was one of the weirdest games I've been through. And I'll tell you, we've had 3 rain delays in my career as a radio broadcaster, and they've all been at Riverdale.
I was going to say, were they all 3 with me? Franklin, Blackman, and Blackman.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 that I've dealt with as a head coach.
I think they have been with you, yeah.
You know, and so it's hard. It's different just to get adjusted and things. We went in at halftime, and it was going to be a 15-minute half, and it turned out to be almost a 2-hour and 15-minute half. And I'm really proud of how our kids handled it. They stayed in the weight room. Actually, you know, we got a lot of stuff done. We were able to upload the first half of the film, and the defense was in the meeting room, and the offense skill kids were in the coach's office watching film, and the O-line was in the weight room watching film. And I mean, we broke the whole first half down, and went through it play by play and fixed all their mistakes, and so we felt pretty good coming out of half. And the kids, I don't feel like we played Riverdale football the first half. I felt like we were too scared to make a mistake, and I always preach, the standard at Riverdale is play fast and be physical, and that we weren't doing that in the first half. We were not playing fast, and we weren't being physical like we usually were. And I can say maybe that's a tribute to me. Just maybe they were just too uptight. They weren't ready for this big game. But I felt like the Knox Catholic game got them ready. But again, you play a top 5 team, a good football team, and that's what happens. And then we were able to come out second half and start playing some Riverdale football.
Will, I was looking over your roster and looking at it. I didn't realize you had as many. You've got a mixture, but it's a sophomore, junior kind of football team from what I can tell.
Yeah, in some spots, we do. There's receivers, running back, some in the secondary, and so we are growing up as each week goes. I was really proud of Jacob Vaughn and how he played, our running back. I thought he did a great job, played well. Luke Trench, freshman, he played really well. Again, too many drop balls, too many missed tackles, and not sustaining our blocks. And but you got to give credit to Javion, Elliott, and Kemp, the running back. That's the best quarterback-running back combo I think that I've seen in a while. I don't know why they're not giving Kemp the ball 30 times, but I mean, when you got Javion back here, he can do special things. He broke. It was. I think it was 3 times. It was third and
critical
plus 12 maybe.
Yeah.
And he scrambles around and makes plays.
Yeah.
2 times connected. Even on that long touchdown pass, it was third down. And it was like deja vu from the Knox Catholic game, and our kids played well, and just the little mistakes that get you, that cost games. I mean, our 2 losses are from very good football teams, 3-0 teams.
Yeah.
And that's no excuse. We're right there. We just got to keep getting better. As long as we got the right attitude, our locker room stays right with the kids and the continuity, then we can still do good things.
You were moving the football. I mean, it was not really that, but it seemed like there was always either a penalty, and you didn't have that many penalties. But
no, we didn't.
It's when they came, and Elliott was just 3 big crucial runs, and you can't anticipate that necessarily, but. It kind of changed the course of the game, even though now you're up, you tied at 10-10, and that's where I know Blackman had a good, nice job of going down the field after y'all scored.
They did, and that's why I'm bragging on Javion. I thought he commanded their offense really well. He's a really good quarterback, a really good leader. You can just tell his presence. He may be the best quarterback in our region right now. I don't know. We still got a lot of games to play, but last night, he was obviously the best player on the field, and the plays he made for them at critical time, you could just tell his experience has been there, his leadership. Those guys believe in him. I mean, he brought it. As a quarterback, you want to make other guys around you better, and I believe he's done that to the Blackman offense.
When you went in at halftime, did you know that they were going to delay it, or at the time you went in, when you first went in at halftime?
No, at first I didn't, because I was telling the coaches we have 15 minutes and we're going to go back out. But I don't even think it was like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I had a game administrator come in and tell me, hey, Coach, we're on a lightning delay. And so I was every time it restarted, they would let me know. So they did a good job. I can't brag enough on our administration and everything. I kind of put them, administration, Mercer and Coach Voss and all those guys. I mean, we've had the grand opening of the school, dealing with the metal detectors, and then the football coach schedules 3 straight home games. So I've put a lot of stress on the administration there at Riverdale, and they've had a really they've had a tough month and a half. I mean, it's just been crazy, and I can't, brag on them enough of what all they've done and how they've done, and just the hours they put in to make sure our events are successful. All those guys. I mean, it takes 20 plus to run an event, and I can't brag on them enough and what they do for our kids. That's why it's so special at Riverdale.
Well, we're talking to Will Kreisky, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. A really tough game, and you have the ball. You're down by 7. You have the ball, 4th down. A penalty drops you back for 6 yards. Then you have a chance. There's a play. It happens. The ball was dropped or whatever. But unfortunately, in tight games, those things happen too. But I thought you guys had a lot of fight, and when you came out in the beginning of the second half, I thought that Riverdale fight you were talking about was back.
Yes, that's if we would have played the second half like in the first half, it could have been a different game. And they settled down, and the kids sat and played and started. And that's what I told them at half. I said, guys, like this, I preached to you all week. Like this is the type of high school game you want to be a part of. I mean, I told them last week on the show that it was going to be a 4-quarter game. It was going to be a physical game. And that's what it was. And I mean, it came down to the last 20 seconds of the game to decide the winner. And like we were talking out there, I was thinking about, going for 2 if we scored, or, what to do, and should we go for 2? And
I guess listeners need to know there was another front coming with lightning delays, and they saw it later on. But that would have been 3 hours probably. And
we'd have had to come back the next day or today and play overtime. And you wouldn't want to do that to the kids for that. But, again, like you said, our kids fought. They fought really hard for 4 quarters, man. That was a good football game. And we just got to keep getting better and stay positive and keep working and can't listen to the outside noise. There's going to be a lot of people in their ears saying stuff, but they can't. Like Coach Saban always says, don't listen to that rat poison. Just believe what's in your locker room and keep getting better. And
you knew Blackman was going to be good. I mean, you knew they were going to play hard.
Yeah, and I told everybody last week that's the best team my brother's had as a head coach, and he's doing a great job with those guys and they're working and doing the right things. And we just got to keep getting better. What was it? 3 years ago, after 4 games, we sit here 2-2, and then we made a run. So we're 1-2 right now, and we've been kind of in this situation before. And what kind of fighter, And sometimes like people like this is where I thrive, man, because like our backs are against the wall. People are doubting each other. Fans are trashing you. You know what I mean? But like that's what fuels my fire, man. Like let's go. Like let's go back to work. Let's find some positive and let's go grind, man. Like life is tough, life's hard, and these moments teaches these kids for their future because they're not going to have a team around them when they're my age, and they're going to have to figure out difficult situations on their own. And right now we're all 162 players and 18 coaches, our backs against the wall, and we got to come together as one and fight. And do this together, and we can't point fingers and be mad at each other, and we can't listen to negativity. We got to block all that stuff out and just get to work. And if we get like I just said, if we get our fundamentals corrected, we're going to be okay.
Yeah, it's one game in the region. I mean, and there's a lot of region games to be played. I think you've got Laverne next week. You go on the road.
Yeah, we go, and that's the first one on the road. So we'll have to get back in our travel routine and get going and pack our bags, make sure we got our cleats, and make sure you got your shot. I mean, you look at me like I'm crazy.
No, I know.
But I've been to plenty of away games where somebody's left a helmet or somebody's left their cleats or they've left their game pants, just something crazy. But again, we'll get in that routine. The coaches will do it, and we try to like at our program. Every little thing we work on, every little aspect of the game, and even the travel part and packing the bags and things like that. So we'll get to work and we'll start it. And I've already got text messages from kids and things like that, and we're gonna keep working. The Riverdale, they're not known for quitting and laying down.
No, with the talent you have, I think you're gonna be okay. I really do. But I want to keep that fight in you, so I'll say just keep fighting. We
will. And again, our defense didn't play up to par, but again, they only gave up 17 points to a very good football team.
Yeah.
And offensively, we didn't play terrible. We just are not finishing drives. And we gotta finish drives. And once we start finishing drives, we'll be all right.
Is that consistency?
Yeah,
is that what you're really kind of looking at?
It's consistency, and I mean, unfortunately, we got all new people on the skilled kids on the offensive side. Some of them moved in June, some of them moved in July, and so you got to keep working, and you got to keep working on it, and they have to keep working together and get familiarized with each other, and it's slowly coming together.
That's going to happen. Right? It's going to be more of that now, aren't they? With people transferring and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's part of it. That's why I really love the last 2 years having 4 non-region games to start the season.
Yeah,
because it really got us able to work out the kinks before we got into region play.
Yeah.
But again, we've played 3 games. 2 teams we played are in the top 5, and that's where our program's gone. I couldn't say and schedule these type of games 5-6 years ago.
Right.
We weren't ready for that.
Yeah.
We're ready for that.
Yeah.
And we're not getting blown out by these teams. We're not. We fixed the little mistakes, and we're okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people can say, well, I could easily say I'm 3-0. Yeah, we could be. We're not, because we're not consistent enough, like you just said. And we're going to get there and keep working and find a way. I told y'all that's our motto. That's been our motto all offseason, is find a way. And we got to find a way to get better.
Get that team that came out in the third quarter to play every quarter, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I told them. The team that Father Ryan and the team in third, fourth quarter, man, that's the Riverdale football team. That's the fight we got, and that's what we're about. That's our standard. Yeah. We've set a standard there for the 10 years I've been there, and our standard is be fast and physical on defense, and then be efficient on offense. And now we're starting to play fast on offense. Coach Barnes has taught me that, and we didn't play fast in the first half on offense either.
Yeah. Will, appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
They're going to be playing at Laverne this Friday night. Hopefully no rain. I think they've got grass.
We may be out in our practice jerseys because we bought all new white uniforms, and they have a grass field. So I may be, if it's nasty and dirty, because I do the laundry.
That's Will Kreisky. This portion of the show brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. Up next, Smyrna Bulldog coach Matt Williams.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Make a bold statement with custom banners and signs from Franklin's Printworks.
We've got a lot of capabilities as far as the material that you can use, either vinyl or paper or foam board or even aluminum or acrylic.
Jeff Carlton at Franklin's Printworks says they can help design eye-catching, standout banners and signs.
We can walk you right through it and pull it all together for you. Our customers sometimes don't even know what they need to know. That's why it's helpful to sit down with a real person rather than depending on something on the internet.
Franklin's Printworks.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. John Ding is back with you here with our second coach of the day. That's Matt Williams, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. And Matt, before we get started, I'm going to tell you, it was a crazy night everywhere. I was soaking wet. I've lost a pair of tennis shoes out of the deal. It was terrible. Now, I'm trying to make you feel better, okay? So it was a tough night for the Bulldogs.
It was, yeah. We're I'm going to try to start with a positive. I watched the film, and there are some things you can build on, but there's not a lot. But there are some things, and I think better days are ahead for us. And, I think we were clearly outmatched. I know we were clearly outmatched last night. But, you know how it is as the head football coach. I take responsibility for the loss, and it's my fault. There's a lot of things that we probably didn't look very coached on, and that after watching the film is glaring. We had a opportunity down there. We ran the ball down about the 10-yard line on the kickoff return and had an opportunity to put the ball in the end zone and didn't do that. Had a chance to kick a field goal, had 10 on the field for the field goal try, which is unacceptable, and I've got to do a better job making sure that does not happen. And some reason had a kid off the line would come off the field, and we didn't see it from the box. And, things like that get you beat when you're playing good opponents. But, we felt like at that juncture it should have been, we'd have done our job. We also missed out on a screen pass. It probably would have made it 14-7. at that point, and didn't do it. And against a really good team, they've got really good players, good coaching staff, and we got outplayed, we got outcoached. I've got to do a better job, and but we will come back and really get after it on Monday, and we're determined to get better. So, the Smyrna deserves better. The town of Smyrna deserves better than what I gave them last night.
Well, Matt, Oakland is, as you know, really talented, and they're very fast. But I know you had some special team play. I think would be a little bit of a positive, but you you just weren't able to put it in the end zone or take advantage of that.
No, we did have some. I was proud of we Score Weathers had a good return there, and I thought our kick coverage teams, for the most part, were really good. That's obviously for them. It doesn't matter who you're kicking it to. If you're kicking a tut on the punt, on the punt game, that's obviously extremely dangerous. And when you're kicking to their kickoff return team, there's not a good spot to kick it in. They got players everywhere. So I was proud of our coverage. We work a lot on. It's our base stuff that we're not executing, and that's a deal where I've got to do a better job making sure we can. And I think we've got kids that'll come back home. We got kids here right now watching film, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing as a player, as a coach, but it's also a chance for growth. That's what I told them last night. It's not something you just got to take ownership of, look in the mirror, and know that you got to fix it. And that's what we're going to do. And like I said, we got kids here right now already starting that process.
Crazy night, really, all the way around, and for everybody that attended, the people, radio crews, TV, whatever, it was just a crazy night. And I know you had a long halftime as well, and had some decisions had to be made. But what do you tell them when you go in at a big delay? And I'm not talking about that game in particular, but when I know that's probably happened before. When there's a big delay at halftime, what do you do? What does a coach do?
Well, we went in, and obviously, I had a stern talk with the team about what I expected when we came out in the second half. And, no matter what the score ended up, we expected to see them, us play hard. And you do those things, you make your adjustments as best you can, and then when it's going to be a long delay. We talk to our kids all the time about how 90% of life has been able to adapt and adjust, and it's sort of a life lesson thing to where things aren't always going, or things rarely are going to go as planned. So that going in. So we talk about the ability to be able to adapt. We've had some situations like everybody has with practice, whether it be heat or whatever the situation may be, where we've had to adapt and what time we're going to practice, how we're going to name it. And we just talk about the ability to adapt at all times. And, so that's just something you do. And we wanted to finish the football game. I want to say that, when they asked me, we were going to stay as long as it took. And, I think me, John, I'm not ever going to not finish something that we started. And I don't want anybody to think because we were getting beat 35-0 that was a deal where we just threw in the towel. We didn't. So I do think that needs to be said. And I hate it for our kids not to be able to finish because, that's also an opportunity to get some other kids in that haven't had an opportunity to play.
Right.
And that was sort of our plan. And, I've got some seniors, especially senior linemen, that I was going to put in and get some time because not only do they deserve the reps, but they need the reps to get better. And that just was what it was.
I definitely know you better than that. I knew that was not your option there. Townsend had a good night. Had 5 tackles and a sack. So that's some individual things to look at too. Some people that stepped up a little bit.
Yeah, Makai's a kid who's worked hard and got an opportunity last night. It's something we're dealing with. We have some kids that are having to learn that being late to practice or missing practice is not okay. And so Makai got an opportunity to step up and do some good things. And that's what you have to have. You have to have guys who are willing to step in. That it's not easy when you don't play a lot and maybe you're not getting the playing time you want, but you don't ever know when that moment's going to come. I mean, it can come at any time in football. It only takes one injury or just one little thing, and you're in there, and it's your time. So, I think it's important we talk about always being ready and not knowing you never know when your opportunity is going to come. So, kids like Makai did some good things. Defensively, I thought at times we did a good job, but we at times did not. We had way too many missed tackles, and you can. That's what I tell the kids. If you get beat, you can. Nobody wants to get beat, and I hate losing, but you can handle getting beat a lot better if you felt like you did the things like tackling when you had opportunities, executing things that you needed to execute. And that's the thing that bothers us about last night is we had way too many missed tackles, and some of that had to do with them being really good. but a lot of it had to do with us just, I think, getting big-eyed and feeling like the moment was too big. So that's something we got to feel. We want to get to where we want to be. We're going to have to fix those things and be able to make those plays in those moments. And that's what I told them. The difference between us and Oakland right now is Oakland, when they get out there, they're not fazed by anything, and we are. We get really big-eyed, quick. I call it sort of deer in the headlights. And simple things that we are doing. Offensively, we've got like 4 run schemes. We got a couple different pass protections. We're very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get in big situations, I feel like we completely forget how to execute those things. And that's on me. We've got to make that happen. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, again, I say this, I know people get tired of hearing it. It's my fault. And I've got to find a way to make sure they don't get big-eyed and don't get, the moment's not too big. And that's something we'll start working on Monday. But I've got a group of kids. I told them last night I love them. I didn't want, I wouldn't anybody. We just got to fix some things, and it's part of growing up in any situation, and part of life. Sometimes you get knocked on your butt, you got to get back up, and that's just what we got to do here.
Well, so like one region game, you got plenty more coming up.
Yeah.
Matt Williams, our guest here on the Coach's Corner, and Matt, it's Siegel. They're a scary team. I think they're leading Stewart's Creek. They're playing the rest of the game today. They're leading Stewart's Creek by 7, which indicates to me they're capable of beating anybody. So you got to prepare for them next week.
Yeah, I know. We know they beat Cookville, and I think got beat at Lebanon. But I from when I talked to Coach Gentry at Lebanon just to ask him what he thought, and I think they got lucky. They had some big plays in the passing game that were sort of like he even said they were sort of lucky catches, lucky plays. So I think it was sort of misfortune as far on Siegel's part for that. But we know they're going to have a good team. I know we've played them the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
We're familiar, and I know they got a junior offensive tackle that's a stud, and I think the quarterback's a really good player. And defensively they're going to really be feisty and get after you and play hard. So we're going to have a great plan against him. Coach Renshaw does a great job, and they got a good staff. I know a lot of their staff, and they do a really good job. So you know how it is in this region, especially. There are no down easy games ever. So. We're really going to have a good week. And we're going to have to get over this one quick. I told them, I remember years ago, we had a game. I can't remember who it was, but we got beat. And I just felt like it was something, sometimes you just got to flush it down the drain. And so it just sort of tells my age a little bit. But we had a DVD of the game or VHS or whatever it was. And, I remember I took a shovel out and dug a hole with the team, and I buried it.
Yeah.
Covered it up. And I told our kids that story last night and said, we just got to bury it and move on. And you learn from it, but sometimes you just got to flush and get it going and move on.
I guess you're glad, like when you were playing, Siegel was a non-district game. I know you didn't shy away from anybody. I know you're probably glad that you went ahead and played some of these teams because
I think it was. I may be leaving some people out, but so we played in the district and kept some of the natural rivalries. And we're and I've said it. I'm glad to be back in this district.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think it's it's just a better fit.
Yeah. Crowds are definitely better. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Matt, it's a pleasure talking to you again, and I'll see you in a few weeks, but good luck against Siegel next week.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
All right. And hey, tell the kids hi.
I'll do it, John. Thank you.
That's Matt Williams, head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Matt Kreisky, head coach of Blackman, here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at CraigsTaxService.com.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brents, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get 2 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2 liter of one of our sodas or a half gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking, 212 Warrior Drive.
Every team knows which play can be a winning move. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right by combining your home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850. It's a winning move that saves you time and money.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Alex Williams, here to help life go right when you combine your home and your auto insurance. Call me today at 615-898-1150 and let me save you money and time.
It's Brian, and as a customer of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, let me tell you how they can show up for you. Whether I need help navigating a financial decision or just a question, I know I can pick up the phone and talk to someone who's right here in our community. In a world that's becoming more impersonal every day, it's good to know that First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is always there with real people who care.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
Hey, Rutherford County sports fans, from auto, home, renters, business insurance, and more, trust your local State Farm agents. Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, Emerson Williams, Alex Williams, Dana Womack, and Andy Womack. This powerful team lives here, works here, and are your neighbors. They're ready to help you manage everyday risk, recover from the unexpected, and realize your dreams. Contact Celeste, Ron, Emerson, Alex, Dana, or Andy for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. Fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSsports.com, and Big G TV.
And this portion of the Coach's Show brought to you by Sir Pizza. I could use a Sir Pizza in just about another couple hours. Kind of helps you wake you up. They have 3 Murfreesboro locations. They offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. Matt Kreisky joins me here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. And, Matt, I don't know about you, but I'm tired today.
Oh, yeah.
What a wild
3 hours of sleep?
We got at the game at 4:15, and I left. I think we were in the parking lot at 11, count the traffic at Riverdale and plus the rain. We got soaked, so we fought hard. The radio team fought hard last night.
We appreciate y'all and appreciate y'all sticking it out.
All right, I want to talk about this game.
Yes, sir.
A big game for Blackman. I think it's a kind of a statement kind of game that maybe Blackman's here. You know, and I don't want to put too much pressure on the rest of the games, but I thought when you came out early, there were two things in this game that stood out to me. The drive, the opening, the first score.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you had some other opportunities, but the first score kind of made a statement. And then I thought when they tied it at 10, you all came back with another drive. I thought that was a statement drive, and Elliott was masterful in that drive.
Yeah, well, and pretty much the whole game. I'm going to go ahead and say on air that interception was not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a great play call by myself. But one thing that this young man has taught me is, he's calm at all times and has a smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing rattles him. He just goes. I said, and he came to the sideline. I said, don't be upset about it. That's all on me. In the fourth quarter, he said, Coach, it's no big deal. If we get the ball back, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And that just, man, he is. For a 17-year-old kid, man, he has taught me a lot and has helped me with myself and just during the game. It's what's the point of getting all worked up and acting crazy over something when these are 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. They just want to have fun, and the energy, the excitement, and what he brings to our offense, not his. I'm not talking about his athletic ability, just his character and just who he is as a person has really helped us. And you know, we've been the past 2 years we've been talking about winning a game like this. We have not won a game like this. We did that last night finally. Before the game, my talk to the team was giving opportunities in life. You know, what are you going to do with the opportunity you have? We had an opportunity last night. What are we going to do with it? And like you said, is, you know, with the opportunity we had last night, we wanted to make a statement around here that Blackman's back. Blackman's here to compete with everybody in the region.
Elliott did a couple of things that I'm thinking like 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, and scrambled and got the yardage.
Yeah.
That takes a cool hand to do that too. I mean, to see the field like that.
He gets us out of a lot of trouble, and when he does that and makes some plays, then on that drive you're talking about when after Riverdale made it 10-10, he makes a throw to Max Wilcox that you know, I'm cringing because it's right there. There's 2 defenders right there, and somehow he threads the needle and gets it to Max. Max snatches the ball. You know, we get it down with it inside the 3, and then we're able to score. But the ability that he has with his feet and also his arm is just unbelievable. You know, and last night I saw a huge improvement from our offensive line. We know our defense.
Yeah.
We know our defense is going to play well. Our offensive line made strides. I was worried all week about blocking them. If we could block them, if we could have success blocking them. I thought we did a great job last night doing that. You know, and so we got 2 sophomores who are puppies, are still learning, and they were, you know, first 2 games, you know, it is, but week 3 they're throwing in the huge fire of that atmosphere at Riverdale High School. They did a great job. You know, Mikhail Rodriguez and Daniel Hernandez, 2 sophomores. You know, but they got 3 seniors up there up front helping them along. Kenny Jackson's done a great job. Nehemiah, another one, done a great job, and Terry Baskins. So I was really proud of those guys. They don't get much credit.
Wow.
But I was proud of them last night. He said Javion came out with the early throw to Browland. Huge throw. They kind of just opened up the game for us, and kind of after the second series, and then we were able to punch it in. So that was huge. That happened early in the game. But I just felt like as the flow of the game, our kids just kept fighting. They never, when adversity hit last night, we didn't panic.
Yeah.
And I feel like we may have done that a little bit in the past. We didn't last night. We just kept fighting, and finally at the end, you know, we were fortunate. You know, the last play of the game, and it happened, and so it was a fun night for us. That was a great high school football game.
Yeah, it was. The drive after they scored to tie it up 10-10. Not only was it long. It was long.
Yeah.
It took a lot of time. It took a lot of time off the clock. That's a momentum killer for them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because the team's going to be fired up after they just scored, tied it up, and you all just meticulously, which maybe credit some of that to Javion, but their maturing process that they've gone through, right?
Yes, and he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the offense, with what we're trying to do, and understanding everything that we're trying to do. So it was great. You know, he made a key throw to Kari Dixon on a dig route. Did a good connection to move the chains in that drive you're talking about. So that was huge. Both of our running backs I thought had a great game. They both had around 50 yards. You know, Micah and Jabari. Last week, Micah had 2 touchdowns. This week, Jabari has 2 touchdowns. Man, those 2 guys pretty much rotate on their own. They're each other's cheerleader. They want each other to have success. There's no, you know, bitterness. Then both of them run hard, play well, and they both in I think one had 13 carries, the other one had 12 carries. So they did a fantastic job for us. And our defense too, man. Again, holding Riverdale to 10 points is unreal.
They really shut their running game down, particularly in the first half. They got a few runs in the second half, but I mean, it was pretty phenomenal what they did in that first half.
Yeah, you know, stopping the run. James Stewart had a great night. Tremel Johnson, you know, Jaden Gowan, one of our linebackers. Isaiah Bowles, another one. Darius Dixon had a key interception in the first half. You know, they're driving to score, and he breaks on the ball and makes an interception. That was huge. That was really, really huge for us, and I thought it was one of the key plays of the game.
What was, and with all that said, and as close as the game was, handling the 2-hour rain delay in the middle of the game at halftime, I don't know what you tell. I've asked Will the same question, but what do you tell them? You're up by a touchdown.
Yeah, you're up. You get to watch a little bit more film. So we had to break it up in our groups and pretty much watch the entire first half and make the corrections we need to make. But then you go and do so much, and then you don't want them just sitting around, messing around.
Right.
So we sit around, and then it got to the point where I was like, these guys got to be getting hungry. So send 2 or 3 coaches, give them some money to go get some food. So we got some food, So you start worrying about that, like, are they gonna have enough energy to finish the game? But
are they going to come out with the right mindset?
Yes. That's what I was worried about. I was worried about their energy and mindset. But last night they had in their mind that they wanted to win, and it showed. They wanted. We've been, they knew all week that I was worked up. I was uptight, and so, they knew we needed this win, and just not only for our team but for our program, just to get over the hump. We've been fighting for the past 2 years, and you could tell after the game it was a weight lifted off all our shoulders. This is something we've been talking about. You hear all the chatter. Can Blackman win a big game? When will Blackman win a big game? You hear all, like I said, all the outside noise, all the people talking, and so you could just tell. As weight lifted off of everybody's shoulders, you could just tell when we got back to school, just the energy in the locker room, that is, we can breathe a little bit. Let's move forward. We can move forward and relax.
And I don't know that it didn't hurt you. I know a lot of people left after the rain delay, and it wasn't a huge crowd, but the faithful stayed up there. But I think that was a calming thing to kind of keep the crowd out of it a little bit. To me, it just seemed like. Yeah,
but man, the Blackman faithful, you've been around for a while.
Yeah.
They sounded like the stands were full of me. I couldn't see from behind me, but it was full. I had Kelly Beam sending me pictures this morning. They had my son on the some shoulders of some guys in the student section, passing him around, and she was telling me how much she was watching that more than she was the game at one point in time. But that just tells you about our community, our school, just what the culture is at Blackman High School. They're going to support you no matter what.
Kelly Beam doesn't miss a game.
She doesn't.
No.
And she don't miss texting me either. And so she's gonna tell me what we need to do. No, she's great. I can't say enough about her.
Matt Kreisky is our guest, and before I let you go, I see you're traveling to Nolensville next week. Is that right?
We got Nolensville next week. So it's a big game for us. I told the kids enjoy it all weekend. Let's come back on Monday. We're focused on being 1-0 again this week. Focused on Nolensville. They got stuck in the rain delay. I believe they're picking up at 2:00 today as they play Overton at Overton. So they're going to finish that game. And then we've already had their previous 3, so we've already been working on them this morning. Finish it up, tonight on this game, and then tomorrow, coaches meet and we'll have a game plan ready to go. But man, can't say enough about Rutherford County football. It's good. It's where these kids play hard, no matter what school it's at, and here in this county. And you'll see some good football on Friday nights.
Yeah, and we're about through with non-district stuff, non-region stuff, and it's going to get hot and heavy. Yeah. And there's some teams out there. They're out there.
There's some good teams, and only 4. It stinks only 4 teams in this county can make, because I feel like a lot of these teams in our region could win a playoff game.
I think at least 6.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, sir.
Matt, congratulations. A big win for you. And I know you've talked to your brother, have you?
Yeah.
So, but they're a really fine team. He has nothing to worry about either. He's got a good club. And congratulations on beating them last night.
I appreciate it.
All right, that's the Coaches Show. This portion, we've been talking to Blackman Matt Kreisky. And coming up, we're going to turn it over to Brian Barrett. This portion has been brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. More to come.
The frustration many are feeling is real and justified. Kenneth Barrett said that after the county commission denied raises for deputies this year, and as sheriff, fair pay will be a top priority.
We need to figure out how we can get ours comparable to other agencies and start communication with the county commission to try to get less steps at a higher percentage.
With nearly 30 years at the sheriff's office, Barrett brings servant leadership, accountability, transparency, and fairness. Learn more at KennethBarrettForSheriff.com.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, J.M. Stewart Treasurer. This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. My team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. We've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
Hi, I'm Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor. And while you've heard the saying, slow and steady wins the race, that same concept can be applied to long-term investing. Investing a little bit at a time on a regular basis can really add up. We call this systematic investing, and though it doesn't guarantee a profit or prevent a loss, it's a way to take advantage of market volatility instead of enduring it. Give me a call, Lee Colvin, at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
All right, back on the Coach's Show. This segment brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor. Say that 3 times fast. It's Dan France Concrete, and Coach Danny Brewer is here this morning.
Hey, all right. Yeah, you know, a former coach, that is. You know, I have coached baseball and basketball, not football, but baseball and basketball.
I've coached a game of Monopoly.
And did you win?
I'm the banker.
There you go, attaboy.
That's how you win that, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Last night, and the reason we're not able to talk with Laverne this morning is that they're getting ready and packing up and headed to Rockvale. And what was weird about that, it was their home game, but they're the only natural surface, and so it's still raining.
It's still raining.
So headed to Rockvale, so that's a change. But you never know how much Mother Nature can disturb a Friday night in football and all the things that go along with it until you experience it.
No doubt about it. You know, last night was one of those nights where I don't think you could have written that script anywhere. You know, games moved up to try to alleviate those weather concerns, but didn't work out. So it just really created, I don't know if it created more chaos or less chaos. I'm not sure what the right thing to do is. You can't predict Mother Nature. You just don't know.
Every game was different. So where we were at the Riverdale Blackman game, and we just got to halftime before the Lightning. I mean, it was almost an immediate delay as soon as halftime got there. But the Stewart's Creek and Siegel game, they got banged with several minutes left in the second quarter. And so their game and the rest of what happened was going to be dictated by several things, rules being part of that. So they get to halftime, they have to take 13 minutes because that's mandated. And then that cost them, they were banged the second time, where Riverdale and Blackman were able to finish just in the nick of time.
just in the time, and at Smyrna where I was at, they made it to halftime, and then right as the teams were walking off the field, lightning struck, and they made the announcement, hey, we got to clear the stands, everybody needs to take cover, and then it was just this delay after delay. They on the scoreboard, which is a beautiful scoreboard, wonderful scoreboard that they have now, thanks to Smyrna Ready Mix, they would start the countdown, because I guess it's 30 minutes once you see a lightning strike.
Yep.
It's a 30-minute wait, and they would get down to about 17 minutes lightning strike, so start the clock over. So the cool thing about that was if you could see the scoreboard, you'd see the countdown, but it was just over and over and over again, and it got to where it was 8:40, and we had another lightning strike. And it was 35-0 Oakland, so the administration decided, hey, we're just going to call it now. It would have been a running clock to start the second half. Whenever the second half would have started, we don't know when that would have been, because like I said, it just continued to lightning strike for quite some time. So it probably would have been, it might have been 10 o'clock before they could even get the game restarted.
And that score and what happened in the first half in that game was much different than, Riverdale Blackman where we were broadcasting. It was 10-3. So you felt like, this is going to be a tight game. So it's different than 35-0. So that's why there were lots of decisions that had to be made last night. And the fact that whatever decision is made then replicates down. For instance, we talked a little early this morning with Adam Renshaw. You're going to hear him coming up in just a minute, but they've got to get a game ready to go too. But they have to get ready to bring the team back in, feed them lunch, get ready to go back to Stewart's Creek, get buses. The officials have to come back. There's just a whole litany, SRO, secure, all of that stuff you have to redo again on another day, and that's not easy to coordinate.
Oh, no, not easy at all, because when you think about people that just show up to the game, they don't understand all the things that happen behind the scenes, all those things you just mentioned, plus other things as well. Are you going to have concessions? Do you have gate workers?
Yeah.
There's all those things. And, of course, now with the metal detectors that they have outside the stadium, that's obviously a concern too, because you have to get people to man those, and the administration is some of those, but the administration can't do it by themselves. They have to have get teachers to come in and all that kind of stuff, and workers. So it's a huge challenge, and when you think about having to do it on back-to-back days, a big undertaking. And here's the thing that I wonder about, like Rockvale. They weren't even supposed to have a home game,
right?
So I'm sure they've been in really big time scramble mode since last night.
Yeah, well, it was their principal, Steve Luker, who sent a text to me and John and others to say, game tonight, banged, we're going to play tomorrow. It's going to be at Rockville, going to be at 2 o'clock. And so then the motion has to start for them, where they weren't even prepared or preparing or thinking about doing that until there was the delay, and there would be no way they could play today at Laverne. You don't want to continue to put it off. You're not going to play on a Monday.
No, absolutely not, because then you affect the next week. And, this already affects the following week.
Sure.
Because I was just talking with Coach Renshaw this morning that we're here. He's usually thinking about next week's opponent. Well, he ain't thinking about that now. He's thinking about finishing the game from last night.
Well, he's thinking about Stewart's Creek at his 11 with a second down with 9:16 to play in the fourth quarter. He's up by a touchdown.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No. It changes things drastically. But hey, the wonderful world of high school football.
It is fun. Last night, I don't know, but it is all a part of it. It has been several years since we've had such interruption, though, on a Friday night. Having the turf has really taken out the rain as a problem. So it's really just lightning now.
Exactly right. And, of course, you can't mess with Mother Nature. You don't want to put anyone at risk. They've all got metal fences surrounding those
right.
fields. So you have to take care. And hats off to the administrators and the systems we have in place now, too, because technology helps with all this stuff, because you can track that stuff so much better as far as, hey, what's coming in, what are we going to have, what's going to happen. Of course, you can never predict Mother Nature like I said earlier, but
right.
Still, at least you have some barometers to kind of go off of.
Well, it was like last night, I don't want to say trapped in the press box, but that's where we were, and someone else in some other location is relaying information. Of course, at Riverdale, David Limbaugh kind of handles everything in the press box, and, we got to 27 minutes. And then lightning. So that restarted the 30-minute clock. but someone had to be watching, and they have these detection systems and things like that. But PCA, for instance, last night, they weren't able to start their game until later because they play their games at MTSU, and they're the ones in charge of that. You see what I mean? So,
Right.
And it can be different at each place. But and then at some point, if you're in the course of the game, then it's your game officials that are kind of in charge of that. But it's just crazy to think about all of the working pieces that go together on any given Friday night. I mean, it's a process, and it's changed over the years.
Oh, it has, and you're right.
Much more sophisticated now, aren't we?
Way, because of technology. But when you think about all those parts and pieces, it really is. But that's what creates all these different situations that you have. Like you said, it was different at every location because of weather and situation, all that stuff. So it was a interesting night, to say the least.
Well, last night and whatever happens today, that is, the start to the region. And I think if we look at the region as a whole, knowing some of the pieces and what it could transpire with a couple of other games, you've got Oakland, once again, probably the team to beat in the region. But, gosh, after that, I have no idea.
I think it's going to be a roller coaster ride. We talked about this earlier off air. I think you're absolutely right, Brian. It's going to be a huge roller coaster ride. But here's the good thing for all football fans in Rutherford County, no matter what team you support, or if you support any team, if you just love football. Because I talk to some people, they go based on where they think the best game. But, man, you've just got your choice. I mean, when you think about, just like next week, for instance, Rockville versus Stewart's Creek. Man, that's going to be a battle because, they're all fighting for that spot. I think Oakland is the cream of the crop in the district. But then you got Siegel and Smyrna. I mean, what a game that could be,
Well, and what happens in that game? Do you have Smyrna after their loss, but do you have a Siegel team who beat Stewart's Creek, or did they, lose a narrow loss to Stewart's Creek on a game that finished the next day? I mean, but that's an important game.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. And that's what you'll hear Coach Renshaw and I talk about this when he gets up. Every game is huge.
Yeah.
In the district, in the Rutherford County district, every game is huge. I've compared it to the Southeastern Conference. It's the Southeastern Conference of high school football. When you think about it, there's a lot of good teams in this county, a lot of good teams, lots of talent. I mean, whenever I was seeing Oakland on the field last night, man, they've got a lot of kids. When I saw Riverdale a couple weeks ago, man, they've got a lot of kids. Smyrna, they've got some talent. They've all got talent. Yeah. And that makes it a lot of fun.
Well, clearly the guy that has the best sense is Christian Peterson, because they didn't. They chose this to be their bye week after they lost their game with Kings Academy.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk on Cougar Corner a little later on some volleyball this morning, but we're going to continue on the Coaches Show here in just a second. It's time to roll into hour number 2 here on WGNS and Big G TV. Stay with us as the Coaches Show is brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites on Warrior Drive, operated by Anne-Marie Brentz and the Lanning family.
Are you tired of feeling like just another number with your insurance provider? At Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northfield Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Is your car running like a dream, or does it need a little TLC? At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we treat your vehicle like it's one of our own. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
Been coming to them ever since he opened up. Good family. I recommend other people to get them repaired here because I knew they would do it and do it right. Been happy to send people to him because I trust what he does so much.
We're crazy about him. It's all about the doctor.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
Coach's Show here is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com. We're going to talk to the guy that's had the most rest of anybody. Coach Kevin Creasy, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Oakland Patriots victorious last night, and Danny and I were just talking about some of the decisions that have to be made in the course of a game and who makes those decisions. It's going to be different from one game to the next, and your game being up 35-0, that last touchdown before the end of the half turned out to be something that put you in the win column early.
Yeah, that was going to get the clock rolling in the second half. Ultimately, Coach Williams did everything he could to get this game in. Called me early in the morning talking about the weather. Of course, I didn't know anything about the weather, and he's the host school, so he gets to make decisions in accordance with TWSAA policy and seeing if the referees can get there. And so he had a lot to handle. They had a pregame ceremony with SRM, and so he had a lot of moving parts to go ahead and get that game moved up to 6 o'clock. And then once we did it, I think everybody else followed suit and moved their games up as well. And then ultimately, right when we were walking in at halftime, there was a huge lightning strike, and you pull up the radar, and it hadn't even got on us yet.
Yeah.
So I think we waited around for an hour and a half, and tried to get it in. I got some guys I was trying to get in, and he probably did too, and ultimately some powers that be that are above us made the decision. And, the best part about it is, we left there healthy and they left there healthy. Nobody got hurt. And for the most part, we got home pretty early.
The final touchdown in the first half came with 1:54 to play. I don't think that happens if it's not a running clock. Do you?
No, I don't. And we're, we may have had to play today, some people did. And then, I think Riverdale and Blackman got to finish theirs up last night because they got just enough time to finish it up. And, you got to go back and you got to warm up again. You can't just go out there after sitting around for a couple hours. So you got to warm up again. So it's just hard to kind of make those decisions. I'm glad it wasn't our decision.
Getting to halftime, I've learned this morning, is key because there's a mandated halftime. I didn't know that in FHS rules or whatnot. So, if you don't get to halftime, then you play, and then you have to have at least 13 minutes, and that 13 minutes is what cost one of the games to have to come back and play the fourth quarter today. So, but anyway, it was just a weird night. We haven't had a weather night like that in a long time. The last big rain, I guess, was the Blue Cross Bowl 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I've been a part of that misery before.
Yes.
Raining sideways, can't even get a play called off. But ultimately, we have such good, weather people to kind of tell us about what's coming. Nobody really saw this big of a deal happening, because if we had we would have all moved to Thursday. We have that happen all the time, and then we get second guessed on that. People will move their game to a Thursday, and then all of a sudden it's beautiful on Friday, and everybody's like, well, why in the world did you play on Thursday? Those weather people aren't ever right. So, yeah, you're in a no-win situation. He was trying to do what was best for both of us, and ultimately it was just a weird situation that didn't get any better as the night went on, especially in Smyrna, because Smyrna, somehow it blew right over the top of Smyrna, and it was going to stay there for a while.
Yeah, well, and two, this is another thing that we've kind of talked about this morning. A few years ago, before turf, the rain would have been a problem. Mm-hmm. But it's not the rain that's a problem, it's the lightning now.
No doubt.
And so that takes one of those levels of issue away on any given Friday night. But let's talk about the course of the game. It seemed like as Smyrna would maybe get a stop, or you're in a 3rd and long or whatever, you were able to pop a play and continue a drive. And last night, that happened on many accounts. I think that first Wyatt touchdown last night was kind of that same situation.
Yeah. I think that was like 3rd and 5, and we throw a 5-yard completion, and then he stiff arms a guy and runs for a 45-yard touchdown. So, I can't really say that's great coaching on our part. That's just a great athlete making a play, and ultimately, we don't know about the weather, but we're trying to take the ball, which we never really take the ball when we win the toss, but we're just trying to get some momentum, trying to get a score, because you never know what's going to happen with the weather, and especially in the second half, you don't know what kind of weather you might be playing in. But yeah, we converted like 5 out of 6 third downs. I thought that was big. We got stopped on one of them, but ultimately, we put our best guys out there to start the game, and to Smyrna's credit, they were stuffing us pretty good on the run, and so it opened up some things in the pass game.
Well, last night in the passing game, we only attempted 5 passes, 3 for 5. Cam Morton was 2 for 3, but I've heard people, he's the passing quarterback and Dante is the running quarterback. Well, Dante threw the touchdown pass.
Yeah, Dante threw the touchdown pass last week too.
Yeah, he did.
Like a 50-yarder. So I don't know who says that, but they hadn't watched our film.
Yeah, apparently not. Both kids are very capable of that. Joel was the recipient of 2 of those passes, 56 yards, and the longest was that 46-yard touchdown that got you on the scoreboard there. And Craig Tutt continued to have a good night running the football for you.
Yep. Craig Tutt's a dynamic player, had a great run. They kind of boxed him in there early in the first quarter, and then he had a dynamic run in the second quarter, and had a easier one, by the goal line. I think it was like second goal from the 2 or something. But our defense put us in a lot of good situations. They did a heck of a job of defending Smyrna, and ultimately we gave up a kickoff return that went all the way to the 7-yard line. And our senior cornerback not only made the touchdown saving tackle going in, but we held them 3 plays inside the 7, and Kyrie Gaynor comes off the edge on the field goal attempt and blocks the field goal just like he did against Blackman the year before.
That guy, I'm telling you, he's fun to watch.
He's tough. And like I said, Kyrie was the safety on the kickoff, so we were hoping he'd tackle him a little closer to the 50, but he eventually did tackle him at the 7. But, I mean, that's just hustle. That's the kind of effort that we look for on defense, and we say kickoff is our first play of defense. And so we try to put our good people on the kickoff team. Maybe we need to look at who all's on there, because they ripped us right on the right side. And next thing you know, they're in scoring position, and they had a pretty easy chip shot field goal that Kyrie not only, like I said, made the tackle to get them in that position, but also came off the edge and blocked the field goal. So that was a big momentum shift too, because they were about to get momentum. I think it was a 14-0 game at the time. So we were happy with the way Kyrie came off the edge and changed the whole game.
that's another one of those things. You don't coach that, really. I mean, this is where you need to be. But I mean, it takes an athlete to be able to. I mean, he just has an uncanny ability to be able to do that.
Well, we do field goal block every day, so we do coach it. But then you got to find the right guy with the right mindset to come off the edge. And we had a guy that was, a whole lot taller, a whole lot longer, a whole lot more explosive than Kyrie, but he just wasn't as good as Kyrie at doing that. And Kyrie, I think, kind of hurt himself, maybe landing on his shoulder or something. But that dude has reckless abandonment for going after the ball on punts and after the ball on field goals.
We're talking Oakland football this morning. Kevin Creasy here with us today. A little more on the offensive side. You had nobody with just 150 yards, but Cameron was your leading rusher last night with 80 yards. Haggard had 51. Tutt had 43. Bass had some great runs, including a touchdown last night. So, I mean, you've got a lot of guys in the backfield that they get the ball, they're going to try to make some positive plays because they may not get that many touches. Craig had 7 last night.
Yep. So, yeah, when you get the ball in your hand, you better take advantage of it. And I thought we had some people that did that. And like I said, ultimately, there were some big plays and, time of possession. I think we lost the time of possession for the 3rd straight game in a row, but that doesn't necessarily mean you lose the game. And, the second half, we would have loved to have played it just to kind of see how things shook out. But ultimately, there was a reason it didn't get played out, and we're going into week 4 pretty healthy.
Did want to mention special teams a bit here. When you've got a kicking weapon, that helps you a lot. I mean, last night, 2 touchbacks for Jose Hernandez, averaged 47 yards. When you can flip the field and keep somebody pinned back, that really makes your defense a lot easier to work with.
Oh, yeah. And Matthew Moore did a great job of punting for us. Jose didn't make the tackle on that long kickoff return, but he did kind of slow him down enough where Kyrie could get an angle to make the tackle. So, yeah, our special teams have been unbelievable the last 2 weeks.
Well, you dip back into non-region play this next week. The Firebirds are coming to Oakland.
Yep. Pearl Cone called us for a game. That doesn't happen all the time.
I was going to say, how many times does that happen?
So we were happy to comply, but ultimately they may be the toughest team that we've played so far. They gave CPA all they wanted, had that game almost in the bag, and fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. Then they scooped and scored it and took it back 99 yards, and that's how CPA won that game. So, they got a tough one. I think they're trying to finish out today with BGA. BGA is one of the best smaller schools in football right now. So, curious to see how that game turns out. But, we're catching Pearl where they're looking to make some noise, and so they play a tough schedule, and so they'll be ready to play us, and we go to their place next year, so it should be a good home matchup.
Well, good luck on Friday night, and hopefully you won't have to deal with what your opponent did last night. At least it was on the road. I guess you can thank your stars for that, huh?
No doubt.
Coach, appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right.
Kevin Creasy here on the Coaches Show, and this segment has been brought to you by... here on WGNS and Big GTV, Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com.
For 27 years, Kenneth Barrett has proudly served the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and now asks for your vote for sheriff. He started at age 20 as a detention officer, working his way up through patrol, narcotics, and interstate crime operations. He's led specialized teams while keeping transparency and fairness at the forefront. Kenneth Barrett for sheriff means proven leadership you can trust to keep our community safe.
I'm Kenneth Barrett, running for Rutherford County Sheriff, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for sheriff, J.M. Stewart, treasurer.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
I've always been a big fan of auctions. Get instant sale, no contingencies.
That means the sale of your property won't depend on an inspection, financing, or appraisals.
I've known the guys over there my entire life.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Looking for the best Blue Raider gear in town? Raider Tees has you covered. From stylish apparel and hats to unique MT-themed gifts and accessories, we've got everything a true Blue Raider fan needs. Whether you're headed to the game, shopping for a fellow fan, or just want to show off your Middle Tennessee pride, Raider Tees is the go-to spot. Stop by 111 East MTCS Road, right across from MTCS, and check out our unbeatable selection. Raider Tees, bigger, better, and go blue.
Sir Pizza.
You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
Back here on the Coaches Show, and this segment brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car. Professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Find out more at autorepairsmyrna.com. We're headed in that direction, or actually, yeah, I'm sure probably close to that direction, is Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
It's maybe one of the weirder nights. You'll probably always remember the first week in region play, right?
Yeah, I think not just for the first week in region play this year, but perhaps, for all of us coaches, what a wild night, something that everybody had to deal with, not just here locally, but throughout Middle Tennessee.
Probably the worst weather that we've had widespread in quite some time. And I was just talking to Kevin Creasy about it this morning. If this had been 5 years ago before we had, or however long it's been with the turf, the rain would have been a problem. But you take the rain out as a problem, and it was the lightning last night. So we've done things to mitigate the amount of problems that could happen, but it just was a night when Mother Nature didn't cooperate.
Yeah, I think that's well said. And sometimes earlier in the week, if you know it might be coming, you can push it up a day. But this is a forecast that kind of snuck up on us, sometime on Thursday. And, just a very bizarre, situation that we were all in. And, We were talking last night, me and Coach Renshaw, just about how hard it is to, make the right decision, because every decision, no matter which one you make, could easily swing in either direction. But at the end of the day, I know that we did all we could last night to, get the game in. We waited there for about 2 hours, and it opened up, and, we kind of said, hey, this is why we waited. And, my assumption is that you guys last night might have been able to get out there slightly before we did. But nonetheless, here we are. We got about 9 minutes left in the game. And certainly a situation that I don't think either of us have been in before, but, going to be an exciting, quick quarter of football, hopefully, here today at Stewart's Creek.
I think the real difference between the Blackman-Riverdale game and yours was you got banged in the second quarter where they just got to halftime, and that extra 13 minutes that, and I learned some new things this morning, you're mandated to take a halftime and a warm-up. That maybe is the time that cost you to be able to finish, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's wild that you're inside for 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes, and you go out and play for, about 15, 20 minutes, and then you got to take a 10-minute halftime. But, that's what we had to deal with. And I was really proud of how our players came out, after the long break, and we were able to come out there and score. Unfortunately allowed 3 different third down conversions there to Siegel, give them a lot of credit, and they were able to, score to take back the lead, and we're able to get through the third quarter unscathed, and then Mother Nature hit again there a few minutes into the fourth quarter, and that's where things stand right now.
Yeah, you trailed, and I'm not I think this is the how things went last night. When you got delayed the first time, you all were down 8-0, and then you came back to score to make it 8-7. Then you mentioned that Siegel score, and then where things are now, you're driving at their 11 when the game was called with 9:16 to play. Is that kind of a good overview?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so the ball's at the 11-yard line, 2nd and 10, and that's where things kind of fell when the final delay hit. And, we waited to get back up to our locker rooms to kind of see where things stood. And I think we both wanted to see if there was an opportunity to, prevent everybody from having to come up today. And there's so many factors with that, that most people might not think about. The
right.
ACT is today. I have a coach on our staff whose son's birthday party is today. And you have kids and players with jobs and obviously previous commitments. So it's always kind of a roll of the dice there when you have to do this. But this is the situation that we're both in. And I know me and Coach Renshaw, both can say to, our families and our communities that we did everything we could to, try and get it in last night. And I would like to say, this isn't something that any coach or administration wants to be in, such a difficult situation. But, from the outset yesterday, Coach Renshaw and Siegel have just been tremendous to deal with. And I have so much respect for him, not just professionally, but personally. It's always hard when you kind of have to come to a hard conclusion when you've been persistent and waiting for so long. But at the end of the day, we just didn't, feel like there was another window that we could predict when it would open. At the end of the day, it wasn't at night. It was in the morning when I heard the last crack here at Stewart's Creek. So, I think at the earliest it would have been after 1 a.m. for us to get out there just to start stretching.
We talked to Adam earlier. He's going to be on the air in just a few, but just because of the way the game fell and all of that. But if you're the home team, and we'll talk about some of those things you've got to deal with, but like for the visiting team, they've got to get buses again. They've got to do a team meal again, do all of the things that you weren't expecting to do on a Saturday. You guys have to get everybody back who, with game operations and administrators and all the things that you have to do, all the people that work. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of people here that are affected. So, of course, you're going to try to finish. But, I mean, you've got a tall task being the host, too.
Yeah, I think that's very well said, and most people don't realize sometimes there's can be a few more distractions when you and things to deal with when you host a game as opposed to when you just got to pack everything up and go on the road. And we've got these metal detectors and weapons defense systems as well, and the game day administration. And we've got one member of our chain crew that had a previous commitment today, and so we've got to make that up as well. But I tell you, Brian, even after such a long delay, seeing the smiles and the support of so many people that just make things go here. Our athletic director, Jeff Mitchell, administrator, game day administrator, Todd Harris, just the whole 9 yards. Dr. Harrell was here, very supportive throughout. I know Siegel's, administration was as well. And so, seeing that even after a long delay with certain, things that went into all that, definitely, is a shot in the arm as a coach, and certainly makes me want to, deliver on their behalf.
You also have to think about officials. I mean, those officials surely wanted to finish. They didn't want to come back. They may have had commitments today to officiate in other places. I mean, there's just so many working parts that I don't think the average person really thinks about. But they were determined to get it in if possible, and there was just no way.
Oh, yeah, they were great, and several of them, Brian, as you know, these guys are driving from at least an hour away, and so it's a quick turnaround for them as well. And they were great last night. Everybody that, kind of put their best foot forward despite, circumstances that were far out of our control. I can't say enough, really on both sides. And so, obviously you don't want to have to come back the next day, but this is the situation we're in. And, our off-season theme verse as a program was in Philippians 3 of, forgetting what's behind and straining towards what's ahead. And so certainly that's something that we're going to have to, take hold of today. And quick turnaround. Obviously there's soreness, there's exhaustion. We're all a little bit, tired, and certainly didn't get, the usual amount of sleep you get before you, are in the middle of a fourth quarter of a game. But this is something we're both dealing with, and our players will get in here in a little bit, and we'll get things started.
The longest halftime or the longest delay in a game probably that these kids will ever go through. But, I thought about this last night as I got in the car. Lightning struck, and there was a power outage, so it became 2 a.m. for me. But this is something that I'll remember, and I've done this for 32 years, and these kids are going to remember. They're going to come back and talk about, you remember the time we played Siegel and what happened, and so that's what it's all about, having these kids have an opportunity, and they're going to get to play in the rain today, it looks like, because the radar is lit up again, but no lightning, so that's the big thing.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to, make a tremendous memory, and, been some crazy circumstances. I've never had to, come back and finish a game the next day. But this is the opportunity before our team right now. And, we've got, the ball on the 11-yard line going in against a region opponent. And I can assure you, Brian, there's no coach y'all will talk to this morning that wouldn't, take that opportunity in the fourth quarter against anybody they're playing against in this county. Well,
and this is the first region game. It's a biggie, and it's razor thin here, the margin. And Coach Renshaw did say expect an 11-man blitz on that first drive, or on that first play.
Yeah. Well, been a great football game. I tell you, it's unfortunate how hard, both teams have played. I know several things have gone against us. We had an inexplicable fumble on the third play of the game. I think we thought we were out of bounds and kind of just handed it away. We've had some big blocks. We spiked the football after we scored and didn't have the chance to go for two. We had the ball first and goal at the 1-yard line and came away with no point, with two snap issues there. And so, this is a new day. And even though it's still the same game, it's a new day. It's a new opportunity, to persevere for our team and for us as coaches. And obviously for all of our fans that stayed up late watching us last night. We're going to need you out there again today. Admission is free. And great opportunity is there for the taking before our football team today.
Coach, good luck in all that. And, I think we can say this at all the Rutherford County schools, and I know we can say it at Stewart's Creek. The support, the help, administration, we've already talked all about that. But I'd rather be here in Rutherford County and with the coaches and administrators that we have to deal with in a situation like this than anywhere else. So I know that you'll get some support out there today, and good luck, as we told Adam as well, but good luck here in the remaining part of the game, and we will catch you next week after you play another region game with Rockvale, which we'll have on the air, and you're not thinking a thing about that right now. So, but we'll just say good morning, and appreciate you spending some time with us this morning. I know you had a busy morning already.
Hey, thanks, Brian. Always enjoy being with you guys.
All right. Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks this morning, joining us. They're going to pick up at 2 o'clock at Stewart's Creek. It's 15-7. Siegel on top. Stewart's Creek with the ball at the 11-yard line of Siegel with 9:16 to play. I feel like I'm doing like a pregame show or halftime or whatever. But anyway, that's the situation there. We're going to come back and continue our coaches' conversation right after this.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs, from individual returns to corporations, and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Since 1989, Franklin's Printworks has been Rutherford County's trusted partner for high-quality printing with fast turnaround and unbeatable service.
We love to do stuff for the community, for churches, for schools, for nonprofits. We love to get involved with them and partner with them every time we can.
Jeff Carlton with Franklin's Printworks.
People know my name, they have my cell phone number, and they can be confident that we'll make sure it gets done right.
Visit printworkstn.com. Franklin's Printworks. Print local. Print with confidence.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're talking with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue, carrying on the Lanning family tradition.
I'm passionate about it, and I have a lot of my dad in me, so I know that I have the same energy and mindset that he does.
It's the best barbecue you'll eat. The smoked chicken out of this world and those loaded baked potatoes.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds. People ask us that all the time. They're like, where do y'all get those potatoes from?
A quick meal feeding the whole family or catering, they can do it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
It's not just a home or a car. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton. We see your home and car as the time and memories you put into them. Give me a call at 615-895-2700 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
Local business owners, you know how important it is to be here for your customers. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I run a small business in Rutherford County too. I'm here to help you protect your small business. Call me at 615-900-0877.
For 150 years, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee has been a part of your community, helping generations achieve their dreams. From savings accounts to home loans, we've been there for every milestone. Come see Rick Thornton, Senior Vice President, Relationship Manager at 3427 Memorial Boulevard.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
It's the Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And this portion of the Coach's Show brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, Turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. John Diggins switching over with Brian Barrett, and we've got Coach James Counts with us, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. And, Coach, we're going to get to talk to each other 2 weeks in a row because this is the first week. I'm going to get to talk to you next week as well. And
awesome.
Yeah, we've got some interesting things going on. This has been the weekend to never forget. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. I guess you guys know we're going to play today at 2:00, and we got warmed up last night, and then got told to leave the field, and by 8:30 or so, we kind of just made a decision. It looked like there was another cell that we had enough time to maybe get out there, about 9:15, get warmed up, get started, and then there was going to be another round of it coming through. So, we made a decision. We're going to play today, and Coach agreed to we're going to come over here because of us having turf and them not. So, be their home game. But anyway, we're going to try to get it in at 2.
All right. So. You didn't even start the game last night, right?
No, sir. We didn't even start. We warmed up and we were getting ready. I think it was like 6:45 or so, and it started lightning.
Yeah. So today is a mission going to be charged for the fans and that kind of thing? Is that how does that work?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think there's going. I think they just going to do what they got last night and.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Go fan stuff that they did, and then we're just going. I'm sure they'll do the metal detector things and all that like we're doing, but other than that, I don't think there will be any admission charge, and I think we're going to try to have the concession stand with whatever not being prepared, whatever we got, and try to make the best of it.
It makes for a rough weekend, I know, for coaches and players to come back the next day. How do you get them prepared for this? Because I know there's got to be a letdown from last night, but how do you have to repump them, I guess, up for the 2:00 game today?
Well, and we talked about this last night when we were still unsure about, and hopeful that we were going to try to play. And that was our thought process the whole time, I want to try to get this in tonight, and they did too. So we were trying to get that done. But then when that second deal came, I said, well, look, let's don't hang out all night. If we're going to play tomorrow, then let's do that and make that decision. Looking at this second storm.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's kind of what we did. And then talking to the kids, you got to stay locked in. You got to learn how to handle. This is adversity, okay, and this is how you're supposed to handle that. And at the end of all this, we got to play, whether that's tonight, whether that's tomorrow. So, we talked about that. I think our guys are ready to play, and we're going to get them in there this morning at 11:30 and get ready and do a walkthrough and get ready to play. It's going to be 63 degrees, I believe. So that's going to be awesome.
That's pretty amazing, and I think the weather is supposed to clear out, so it's really going to be a nice day for football. Really, I think by the time the game starts,
I believe it will. It will. I think the rain is by 1. I think it may be cloudy, but I think for the most part the rain should be out of here.
James Counts is our guest here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. Coach, you've been in 2 close games. I mean, just. Really close games. Nothing to show for it at this point, but I think you kind of feel pretty good about where you are.
We do, and then I kind of try to keep preaching that to the kids. They want to win really bad, and so do I. But I think that the lessons that we have learned in week 1 and week 2 about our team, I think we're getting those things corrected. And, I think we're really close. And, both games we were down, showed some grit and toughness and came back the first week to tie it. Last week we scored 31 unanswered points. And, then we got to learn how to finish. We got to pay attention to details. We got to do all those things. And, but I think we're really close. I love the kids and the group that we have. I think we're getting closer together. they're learning me, I'm learning them, and now is the time where we start this region play that we need to get things, if we learn lessons from week 1 and 2, they're not a loss.
Right.
We make those corrections, and that's kind of what we're, hoping, and I believe that's going to come out of that.
It seems odd to me to talk about another game coming up next week when we haven't played the one this week yet. This is a good warm-up, though, to a good Stewart's Creek club that you're going to be hosting next week. So I guess the silver lining is you're playing at home today and familiar surroundings, and it will be for next week too.
Yeah, I never heard how did the Siegel and Stewart's Creek end up last night.
They are playing at 2:00. And they've got 9 minutes left, and Stewart's Creek has the ball, I think, on the Siegel 11-yard line, trailing 15-7. So that's where they are. That's even more unique than just canceling the game.
Yeah. You got to pick up kind of role play where you left off. So, yeah. I mean that's an advantage to us. Obviously, getting to play today at home. And those kind of things, and then, we're going to look at next week like we will every week. It's a region ball game. We're playing at home. It's a situation to where, we want to obviously win the ball game. We want to continue to get better. We want to keep growing as we go through the year. And it's just going to be another one of those stepping stones for the season and how we want to progress as we go.
And looking at this Laverne squad, they also have not won a game, but that you can't go by the record at all, can you?
No, sir. Very athletic. They're big. Quarterback's mobile. He can throw it. I think they're still trying to find what their identity is or what they want to try to do offensively.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very very athletic. Probably the best secondary group of guys that we've seen so far. From a secondary standpoint, and they've got some big guys inside and up front on the offensive line. So very talented football team. Just from what I saw last night, coach has got them. They're honed in on him and what he wants to do and doing things the right way. So he definitely got them going in the right direction.
All right. We're talking to James Counts, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. I did want to say one thing. Have you ever had to cancel a game like last night? I mean, and play it the next day? Is this is your first rodeo or your second or third?
No, I've had this happen a couple other times, and I've also had it where we were playing Houston out of Memphis, and Houston High School, and I got to halftime, and it was in Paris, so it was a 2.5-hour drive for them, and we ended up calling it, because of the length of travel and those kind of things that makes it so hard for you in high school football to try to do something the next day and financials and all that stuff. But, no, I've had it happen. One other time I've had it happen, we played on Saturday at 2:00, and it was like 105.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I did last night was to look and see
check the weather.
What the temp was going to be today, because I didn't want to get in that scenario where our iPads wouldn't work, if fans were hot. I mean, that was miserable. So I wanted to check on that, but.
Not going to be a problem today, for sure.
Not today. Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Well, good luck to you today, Coach, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sir. Thank you.
That's James Counts, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. And this portion of the Coach's Show has been brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Up next, I think we're ready for Eagleville. Coming up. No, Stewart's Siegel. There you go.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA. Live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSsports.com, Big G TV, streaming video, and always at the game. The game. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSsports.com, and Big G TV.
The Coaching Show is brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry, design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces online at jmullinsjewelry.com. Danny Brewer here, extremely pleased to be joined by Adam Renshaw. This is an in-game interview, Coach. Like I said, we just talked about that. So because of the craziness of last night, today you will finish the game.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about Siegel football and the good things that are happening, because right now with, I think, 9:16 left on the clock, you're in the lead.
Yeah. Well, it's 15-7, right? And so it's a 2nd and goal and 11. So a lot of coaches have had a lot of time to think about a play call and the scenarios of the football game. But man, what a wild night for football in Rutherford County, period. I was joking around with somebody this morning. The radio show is going to be interesting for everybody today.
Oh, yeah. The Mother Nature puts her hand on us all, and then, like I said, we don't really have a lot to say about that. So whose football is it right now with 2nd goal at the 11?
Oh, it's there. Stewart Creek's football, 2nd goal at the 11. I mean, it's been a back-and-forth game. Our special teams has played really well. Defense played really well. They got down to the 1-yard line, and we held them out for 4 plays and had a goal line stand there in the 3rd quarter. It's a war over there at Stewart's Creek.
Well, that's good. So you'll go back to Stewart's Creek today, and I guess it picks up exactly 2nd and goal at the 11, 9:16 on the clock. So it'll pick up exactly where it left off at.
Yes, sir. We'll start, and 2 o'clock. I don't guess it's a kickoff. I don't know what to say. I guess it's 2 o'clock and 2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Siegel and what has happened. I know first week you guys played extremely well. You won. Last week maybe wasn't as good. Talk about rebounding, because obviously if you're up 15-7 at Stewart's Creek, and they were 2-0 going into this game.
Yeah.
Talk about how your team has rebounded and what you saw last night that you really, really like.
Yeah, well, we felt like we didn't give a good performance. We didn't play our best football against Lebanon, and Lebanon's a great football team, but look up and down our schedule; they're all great football teams, and so we didn't play very well. We didn't meet our standard, and so I think our senior class took that personal. We had a great week of practice, and this is the first district ball game, and we anticipate them all being tough physical contests that go down to the 4th quarter.
And in reality, every district game matters, especially in this league.
Oh yeah, and this time of year, you don't want to get to the end of the season and go, man, if we'd only won that one, or we'd only won that one, and so this odd to talk about, and you're still in the middle of this game, but it's a big game.
Well, we don't want to divulge any strategies or anything like that, but as far as kids that really stepped up, you talked about seniors and senior leadership. Mention a couple of your seniors that you're really proud of.
Our punter, A.B. Tavia, man, he is punting and kicking the snot out of the ball. Our special teams have done a great job all 3 weeks, and so really proud of not just him. We have a group of special teams players we call the Dirty 30, and the Dirty 30 are getting after it and working really hard, and can't be prouder of a group of kids.
Whenever you mention special teams, a lot of times people, they don't really give special teams the credit that it deserves, but oftentimes that's what decides the wins and the losses.
Oh, 100%. Especially special teams is a place where you can lose a game. And we're fortunate enough. I feel like we're making some dynamic plays to put pressure on the other team. But, if you make mistakes in the kicking game, it'll get you beat real quick.
Absolutely will. So talk a little bit about offensively speaking. Obviously, 15 points on the board against Church Creek, who've been pretty good defensively. Talk about your offense and who you like over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, it just starts with our offensive line. Our left tackle, Princeton Uwefo, he's a very talented kid, and he's doing great. Bryson Vaughn, our left guard, Ryan Bradley, Austin Ellis, David Barlow. Our offensive line is probably what we put this team around and put it on. And so, and there's 3 seniors up front right there. And so those guys are, it's different playing on the line and up front on either side of the ball. You're hand-to-hand combat, fighting for your life and fighting for your team every play. And so it's been fun to watch those kids get better and improve. And they're playing right now. We got a challenge right here. Our offense will have to produce at the end of this ball game to win it.
Coach, I'm glad that you mentioned offensive line because most of the time those kids don't get much credit. They don't get their name mentioned, but integral part of the football team.
Oh yeah, and usually they're the best kids on the team in a lot of ways. They're the nicest. And you have to push those kids and they're really a special position, not just in football but in sports.
Absolutely right. So years ago, I did an interview with James Franklin when he was coaching at Vanderbilt, and oftentimes I compare the Rutherford County Football League, how it is now, because it was this way a few years back when it was all together. Compare that to the SEC of high school football. James Franklin said the SEC is a line league. If we're not good up front, we can't win. Would you agree with that as far as Rutherford County football?
I would agree with it 100%. I think that's part of the learning curve for my coaching here in Rutherford County. And, we looked the part up front offensively and defensively this year. And so I'm excited about what they're doing right now, but I feel like we've even got room to grow.
So let's talk a little bit about defense here. Holding Church Creek 7 points. They've been lighting up the scoreboard. You've held them to 7 points thus far. I know had a big goal line stand in the game, that kind of stuff. Tell me a little bit about some of the kids on defense.
Oh, well, kid that was in the game and he didn't get to play last week, but made a huge difference last night. DeMario Heron, he's the guy that came up with a turnover in the first half. It gave us a short field. He tore his ACL last year and has fought like crazy to get back on the field. And, honestly, it's just good to see him out there. He's a senior leader, one of the kids that we rally around. And so, he's out there making plays and making some dynamic plays, I thought, last night. Delvion Ewing also at corner as a team leader, doing a great job. And, it's again, the challenge is for these kids to show up mentally and be ready to play today. But holy cow, they were fun to watch last night.
Well, when you talk about the senior leader that was injured and comes back and all that stuff, that's just like building blocks for life, right?
Oh, yeah. And, like I said, the mission statement for our football program is developing quality men. And, it's cool to get to a point to see where our seniors are doing that also. Like they're working to develop the guys around them also. It's not just a coaching thing.
So I'm going to turn the page just a little bit. I know that this week is not finished yet, but when we talk about next week, I want to preview the game a little bit next week. Go back home, right?
Yes, sir.
Another big district game.
Yes, sir.
And host Smyrna, right?
Yes, sir. I have not looked at them at all. I have no idea. Usually I come into the radio show and I have an idea about the next team, but honestly, I have no idea. I know Coach Williams does a fantastic job. We got to see him in our jamboree, but I honestly have no idea about those guys.
Well, that's totally understandable. But let's talk a little bit about going back home, having a home game with the new lights and all the fanfare and all that stuff, because you got to showcase that a little bit at the jamboree. But being able to go back home, how about that?
Oh, it'll be exciting. We've had the first 3 games on the road. Cookeville, Lebanon, and Stewart's Creek. That's pretty. You got to be mentally tough to handle that. We knew these first 3 games would be a challenge for our kids, and so we'll be excited to be at home. But on the other hand, it's hard to wrap your mind around it when you're not at home yet. So we've got a fantastic student body. I look out there last night, man. Our student section is out there at what felt like midnight yelling for our kids, and several parents, and so I'm excited to get in front of our home crowd.
Well, that's understandable, Coach, and obviously you should be. Of course, I know you got to finish business today, so I'll let you get back to game planning and thinking about what's going to happen, because like you said, you've had a lot of time to think about this stuff. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure.
Yes.
We'll find out. But if you want to see a good high school football game, because like you said, Coach Renshaw, they're all good when it comes to the district games.
Oh, yeah. And I guarantee you, I bet you can get in this game this afternoon free.
So if you want to see some good football, head on out to Stewart's Creek today,
Yeah.
and then you can see Siegel next week when they host Smyrna at Siegel. I'm sure it'll be a great crowd and a great environment and a great game. Coach, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Rick Hall with Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs. Find out more online at rayburn.net.
This is a paid legal ad.
At the law offices of John Day, we take only real cases that make a real difference.
My name is Laura Lynn, and my family needed legal help. The law offices of John Day took the burden really off of my shoulders. Never once did I feel secondary to anything else that was going on.
We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to be positioned for the long term. We provide the tools for a disciplined approach to investing. Call 615-907-7056 for an opportunity to discuss your situation. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day. Danny Brewer here, extremely pleased to be joined now by Eagle Mastermind, the Floyd Walker. Coach Walker, how are you this morning?
Man, I'm good, Danny. I'm upright, and I'm on this side of the grass, so I'm doing well.
A little bit of a challenging night last night, but things went really, really well, looks like, for Eagle football. 42-0. Got to be pleased with the shutout always. I know you're an offensive guy, but defense.
I am. I'm always pleased when you're able to shut somebody out, especially when you go on the road. And I thought our kids did a tremendous job. You know, it was the first road game of the season for us. I thought we traveled well. I thought they were able to, pay attention to detail, keep their mind on the task at hand, and have a successful night. So I was pleased with it.
So their homeschool team, Tennessee,
Right.
Where do they play their home games at?
They play them at Mount Juliet Middle School.
Okay.
The old Mount Juliet High School. They're courteous enough to them and roll out the red carpet and allow them to come over there and play home games. So it's a good setup for them.
Very good, Coach. So let's talk a little bit about that defense. A couple of the kids I want to highlight. How about Grant Cooper? I think he had a good game last night.
Hey, anytime I can talk about Grant Cooper, I mean, I'm thrilled about it because that's one of those kids that's been in the program for 4 years. We hadn't been able to play a whole lot, probably not as much as he'd like, but he's waited his turn, and he's excelling right now. He's our Mike linebacker. He makes all the calls, all the checks, and just really, really happy for him and happy for the way that he's playing and contributing this year.
So when you talk about a kid waiting his turn, and we've talked about this many times about the life lessons that football teaches, but that's good for him. Hey, if you do what you're supposed to, opportunities will arise.
That's exactly right. And the whole thing about it is it's not an instant coffee type of deal. You're not going to microwave anything and get it when you want it. You got to be patient. You got to work. You got to keep your head down and keep grinding. And he's done that. And there's nothing more evident about it and we tease him that, he got named Mr. EHS this year. So it's just been a great fall for that young man.
Outstanding. Okay, let's talk about another kid on defense, Thomas Solomon. I think he had some tackles and a fumble recovery. Talk a little bit about Thomas Solomon.
Thomas is playing both ways for us, playing running back, playing outside linebacker. The thing about Thomas is he's a competitor. He's a 2, 3, 4 time, state qualifier in wrestling, and he just competes at a high level. He's a physical kid. Yeah, he's short like me, but he gets the most out of his ability. So we're glad he's on our side.
Well, that's good. So he's kind of like got low center of gravity.
But yeah, he's got low center of gravity. He sure does.
So I think you had another kid. Let's talk about offense for a second. 42 points on the board. Benton Fox. 3 carries, no. He was a quarterback. So 3 for 5 passing, 71 yards. Talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate we didn't have to throw it a lot, but I thought Benton did a good job of getting the ball out on time, getting the ball to where it needs to go, and being accurate with it. And those are the things that we've been trying to instill in him and work on. And I thought that he was able to do those things last night. And he also made a physical run for a touchdown, which we were pleased with. So he's making some steps and some gains, and the future's going to be extremely bright for that young man. He's just a sophomore right now.
So I understand that diversity is good on offense, but when you only have to throw the ball 5 times and you score 42 points, that's pretty good.
I mean, I've always said, if you can block and tackle, you got an opportunity to win games, and if you can run the ball and stop the run, you got an opportunity to win games, and that's what we always try to hang our hat on. Is we want to run the ball, we want to stop the run, and we want to try to be physical at the point of attack. And I thought our kids did a super job last night against Tennessee, who basically played with 9 people in the box all night long.
So let's talk a little bit about offense and run the football. Marshall Fields, that's the kid that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
So I think he had 3 carries for 60 yards with 2 touchdowns. So that's 20 yards a carry. That's Floyd Walker numbers.
Yeah, right. Marshall never be as good as I am. Y'all tell him that too. Well, I tell you what, Marshall's had 2 big weeks in a row. Last night, we lined him up at quarterback some, and we give him the ball and give him an opportunity to get outside in space. And he's a track kid too, and he's got some speed. And if he walked in this building, you'll be impressed. He's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 foot, 175 somewhere. So he's got some decent size about him too, but he's starting to play a lot better, and he's starting to understand how to get the ball and what to do with the ball once he's in space. So we're extremely pleased to him, and we're glad that we can get the ball to him in a couple of different ways.
Coach, obviously what you just said about this kid, getting him in space, things like that. understanding the piece to the puzzle you have and putting them in the right spot, that's also very important offensively, right?
It is. But basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to line up offensively and take what they give you, okay, or what you think they give you. And we thought that if we got a certain formation, put him at quarterback, that we would match up number-wise. It's a numbers game. If they got more in the box and you can block them, they're probably going to be successful. But if you can get it even and the quarterback can run the ball, most defenses can't account for the quarterback. So we kind of felt that way, and we had a little success with it last night.
Okay, so Eagle 2-1 right now. I don't know if you pay any attention to this, if it matters at all. I think that there's some rankings, and
I mean, we've seen it. We don't try to buy into it. All we try to do is take care of Eagle. We're gonna try to do what we do. We talk about it. Don't really matter who we're playing against. All we want to try to do is make sure that the best version of us shows up on Friday night. Whatever the rankings are, that's rat poison. That's what Nick Saban calls it. It's rat poison. But we don't spend a whole lot of time talking about it. We addressed it early this week, and we talked about it for maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and we won't talk about it anymore. All we're going to do is talk about whoever's on our schedule next and the things we have to do to take care of Eagle.
Because at the end of the day, paper does not decide the outcome, right?
No, it don't. It don't. I let you guys do all that stuff. Y'all talk about who shot John and all that stuff. All we're trying to do is score one more point than the opponent.
Well, that's absolutely right, Coach. So let's talk a little bit about the schedule and who you got coming up. I think next week you're at Cascade.
Cascade on a Thursday night. Cascade is an explosive football team. My understanding is that they've got 11 transfers in from different places. I don't know where everybody came from. I do know that quarterback came from Webb over in Bell Buckles, and I know he's a good player. They've got some speed. They got a lot of athletic ability and some size. It'll be call it what it is. It'll be single A Eagle taking on 3A Cascade. So we're gonna bump up in classification to play some people, and it's a deal to where they played in the past, and the two communities are familiar with one another, and it ought to be good gates for Cascade.
Because that's one of those cool community rival games.
Right. It is. I mean, I think they've been playing each other for several years in either basketball and baseball. Football's only been on the scene at Eagle for 20, 22 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. So when the two communities can get together, it's always a great gathering. It's a good atmosphere.
So, Coach, as you move forward through the season, you always want to get better from week to week. Right. You think you're doing that? You think you get better?
I think we are. We will, like I said, when the season started, we felt good about our linemen, and I think they've held true to form. We knew we had to develop some young people. And we're starting to do that with some people in the secondary defensively, some people at wide receiver offensively, and basically our quarterback was still a young, inexperienced kid because he didn't start very many games, but we're starting to mature through the process of it, and I think we're trending in the right way, but we just got to continue to keep our head down and keep working every day.
Because nothing tells you what's going to happen until the lights come on, right? And you on Friday nights because practices and scrimmages and all that stuff, yeah, that's good. But at the end of the day, it's what happens when the lights come on.
Exactly right, because you don't know what goes on with kids 24/7. Yeah, I mean, even at the college level, when they're 18 to 20, well, nowadays in college, 18 to 40, I guess. But
you got any eligibility left, Coach?
No, dude, I'm out. You don't know what's going on in their life. They don't. You try to have great relationship with them, but sometimes there's things going on and you don't know what may have upset a kid. You're just trying to make sure that you're helping the kids navigate to where their feet are. And that's all we talk about. You have to be where your feet are every single day. If you're in class, then your feet are in that classroom. You need to be on what the topic is. If you're at football practice and that's where you're, then you need to be on what your assignments are in football. So
you have to be where your feet are. I love that, Coach. Let's talk about thoroughbred racing for a second, where your feet are. So Goliad is running in the Mint Millions today. If they run it, hopefully it won't get rained out, but at Kentucky Downs, Mint Millions, $2.5 million, Goliad. He's going for 2 in a row. He doesn't have a lot of success other places, but last year he won 2 races there. But what's the key to continuing to be successful, because you want to build every week like we talked about. What do you think the biggest key for Eagleville to be Goliad and maybe repeat next week with the performance that you have this week?
Practice. It's practice. I mean, creating the habits that are going to allow you to be successful. That's what it always comes down to. Do you do the habits that's going to make you line down right, get the call right, take the first right steps, get off on the whistle? It's the same thing. It goes back to your training.
So Goliad just needs to break well, get out to the front. That's what he did last year, and just do the same things that he's always done, right? And he'll be successful.
That's right.
Okay, you heard it there from Floyd Walker. We appreciate it, Coach. We certainly wish you the best luck. If you want to see a good, hard-nosed football game, I would say go to Cascade next Thursday night.
Thursday night. And our middle school, by the way, is going to play Tuesday night, and it's going to have to be middle school homecoming.
Outstanding. Okay, Coach, we certainly wish you the best of luck. That's Floyd Walker with Eagleville. The Coaches Show is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency, where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
It's time to talk about Middle Tennessee Christian School sports. It's MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Each week we sit down with the coaches to recap the latest games and preview what's ahead. It's time to talk about the orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner, right here on WGNS and Big G TV. Stay tuned, the show is coming up right after this message from our sponsors.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Here's Dr. Russell McKissick with TOA.
We have a passion here for taking care of our athletes here in Rutherford County. We really do our best to take care of them.
Experts in joint, bones, and muscles.
Many years we've been taking care of athletes around here, and we've just picked up where Dr. John started, and we just keep going.
TOA has a playbook that gets you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
We're back for MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance and fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And welcome into MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by our friends at Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. We're glad you are along with us here on this Saturday morning, and there was no football last night, so we usually talk to Christian Peterson about the football game and then catch you up on all the other sports that are going on here this fall. But this morning we have the opportunity to talk some volleyball, and Nicole Burks joins us here, and we're going to find out everything about volleyball this morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing very, very well. You and I have a connection from way back when, I guess. You've been a coach's wife, and now you have a coach's husband, and it's just kind of runs.
Yes. I have been on both sides of that. Yes. When Brandon was at Riverdale, yes, I was a coach's wife, and Addison was a baby running around the gym and playing, and then now our roles have reversed a little bit. So now he's at the gym and I'm coaching. So yeah, we joke. We say I'm the real Coach Burks now, so, but it's great. It's been fun to be on both sides of it for sure.
Well, we'll just say you were the real Coach Burks all along and just go with it.
That's right. That's right.
No, Brandon was, gosh, I guess pretty young at the time he was at Riverdale, because I'm always so much older than everybody else is how it seems. But, had some really good teams there and got out of coaching and has been successful, with First Bank for many, many years now. And so he was on a few weeks ago with Andy Herzer talking about rhythm a little too. So kind of talk a bit about that venture too before we talk about MTCS.
Yeah, I think just club volleyball is a big part of our lives. Our daughter has been playing club volleyball since she was 12, and now she's a senior. And just wanted just an opportunity here in Murfreesboro for that platform. And Rhythm was born last year, so this will be the second season for that club. And I believe this year last year I believe we fielded 22 club teams, and this year I think we look to field about 25. So it has just grown. Volleyball is like the fastest growing sport right now for girls, and there's just a tremendous growth over there. We have a lot of great coaches and coaches from Rutherford County, but coaches from other counties that we all play each other and see each other throughout the season. And so it's really neat. It's a great community, but that's been a really great opportunity for our community for girls to have that opportunity here. So,
well, John, who has been co-hosting here with me for 5 years or whatnot, his granddaughter plays at Eagleville on the middle school team. And so, very familiar. Yeah, Mia, very familiar with the club aspect of it all. And if you've ever been a part of softball, softball, it's travel ball, right? And softball has many of those same attributes. You may go all over the Southeast.
We do. Brandon and I joked, but we probably are on an airplane every other weekend. Club season begins kind of early January, maybe mid-January. And our daughter, Addison, her team made it to nationals this year and competed. And so that finished about the first week of July. So it's a long season, but it is a lot of travel, especially if you're competing at, a national level for sure. And there's all different levels for sure.
Well, we'll talk about that because I think it's good for parents to know, and especially for those who may be listening in and thinking, volleyball may be a good fit. But how would that season go? Let's start in January with travel, or what did you call it? What term?
Club volleyball.
Club volleyball. Yeah. So club volleyball, and then how that goes into the school season in the fall, and how all that works.
For sure. So club volleyball typically starts around late November, practicing. There's different levels of teams, anywhere from a regional local team that would only compete here very near in the state. And then you have, say 2 to 3 more tiers all the way up to the national level that would travel out of state more often than the local team. But they compete in January. Most teams, not a national level team, will end the first weekend in May. They finish in Atlanta, Georgia. There's a regional event for all levels that finishes in Atlanta in May. So those seasons are kind of complete in May. So if your daughter wanted to do that locally, regionally, maybe on a twos team, it's kind of a January till May. Then if you were on a national level team or say a ones level team, those girls will continue to compete through the first week of July. And a little more travel involved with that. But there's there's classes and clinics, and you don't necessarily have to join a club team to play. There's all different, opportunities and levels depending on your, family commitment that you want to do. So.
And then with this being a fall sport, I'm sure you start somewhere around the same time as maybe football and July, maybe some things starting. I don't know. Tell me how that works.
Yes, that's true. So for those kids that did compete at a national level, their nationals ended in Dallas, Texas this year during dead period. We finished up in dead period and then had high school practice the next week. So we try to be very mindful of those kids that are competing at that level to have opportunity for rest and recovery before they go into the high school season. And we've got, multi-sport athletes and, other kids that play basketball and, cheer and different things that, we do. Summer is definitely a balance of allowing them opportunities to do a little bit of everything for sure.
We're talking today with Nicole Burks here on MTCS Cougar Corner, the volleyball coach. Whenever we talk to the high school coaches at MTCS, there's always this, emphasis on 5th and 6th grade and middle school. And it's almost like you've got your own development leagues, which is pretty unique for any school to have that. I'm sure most of the private schools do, but it's a pretty unique situation to be in as a coach, I would think.
It is. I think I could probably attest to that maybe a little bit myself. I started coaching the middle school program at MTCS when my daughter was in the 4th grade. And so now she is a senior. So I think for me personally, I have really seen the program just grow from middle school. And then now here I am with high school, and I've had the kids that I have right now that are seniors, I've had since the 6th grade. So that's been pretty special to see it kind of grow all these years and have that impact, I think, on both programs. But yes, we ran an elementary and middle school camp this year for those little kids. And I think to be a part of a community and a school that has the ability to see those kids kind of grow up and grow through your program is really neat. So it is a very special place.
Do you have, being the head coach of the high school team, but do you have kind of a hand in or talk with the other coaches at those levels? I mean, to kind of have a same mindset, a same, not necessarily coaching philosophy, but maybe standards that you'd like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great question. And, Troy Berry was the head of this program for a long time. And, Troy was the high school coach. I was the middle school coach, and we worked, very closely together. And then I came on as Troy's assistant, and then now I'm the head coach. And so the middle school coach that was there last year is now my assistant, and then my high school assistant that was with me last year is now the middle school coach. So we're all very close, and we do work together and communicate. And I think there's a real culture that we want out of that program. And I think to be in the same building, you really can create that culture together because you are so close and you are working together. So yes, very much so.
It probably also helps to be able to see, a 6th or 7th grader that, in a couple of years,
No, for sure. I think the hardest part is we play at the same time, just like tonight. We had a match and they had a match, or even just gym availability, when we're on the road, they're at home, or vice versa. So sometimes, it makes it a little tougher to catch their matches, but it's a great program. Mary Catherine Smith runs our middle school program, and she was a Central graduate, local player here, and went off to play college at ETSU. And she also coaches club in our area as well. So yes, they're doing a great job in that middle school program for sure.
Well, we are recording this Cougar Corner today because the Wolfpack Classic, as this airs on Saturday morning, is going on, and you're participating in that. So what does a Saturday in a classic like this look like for the team?
Yes, actually, I think maybe that's a correction on that paper there, Brian, but we are actually playing in Guntersville, Alabama on Saturday. It's a tournament called the Tournament of Champions, and it is a very elite event. Brentwood is in this tournament, Collierville, Nolensville, a lot of Alabama, Georgia teams that have competed for state championships, like ourselves. And so, it's probably a 3-match pool play situation, and then advance on to tournament play in your 4th match of the day. And so this will be a really great test for us to kind of go down there and see that elite competition that we want to be ready for in October. That's really the plan for the weekend.
So this, I guess, would be like basketball teams playing in a, after Thanksgiving or after Christmas, before the new year kind of tournament thing. That would be
Right. Like we hosted a Cougar Classic event at MTCS last weekend, and, had a team of 10 or, 10 teams at the event. There is a very significant amount of teams down here, very talented group of teams down here this weekend. So it's kind of a, how you do in pool play advances you to gold. If you come in second in your pool, you're in silver, and kind of so forth for the day. So anywhere from, minimum of 4 matches to a max of 6 matches. And on a tournament weekend like this, you're playing like best 2 out of 3, where in a regular season volleyball match, you're playing best 3 out of 5. So the matches are a little shorter in a classic tournament format like this weekend.
We have Nicole Burks joining us. We're talking MTCS volleyball and really kind of getting an education. I wanted to spend some time doing this, though, Nicole, because everybody's little girl, it seems like everyone wants to play volleyball now. I mean, why the huge, I don't know, maybe this is not even a fair question, but it seems like there's been an increase in interest in volleyball.
There really has been. I would agree with that. I think even just, the volleyball world just in general, I mean, you're seeing it on TV, you're seeing it on, ESPN during the week. You used to never see it that way. Nashville just hosted a huge block party this weekend at Bridgestone Arena. Vanderbilt hosted Belmont on Friday. Lipscomb had Nebraska. Just a lot going on even in our market this past weekend with volleyball. But I think it's a great sport for young girls. I really do. I mean, I'm 43 years old. I played at Eagleville, went there K through 12. And, Bill Tollett was my volleyball coach out there for all those years. And here I am at 43, still loving it, still coaching it. I say it a lot, but I think volleyball is really unique where you have 6 girls. Do you really think about it in a square trying to keep this ball alive and communicate and work together. And I think it takes so much trust from the girl in front of you and behind you and beside you, and just that communication and connection together, that it just makes it a very unique sport. I think it's fast paced and it's exciting, and it's kind of like I said, you're trying to keep this ball alive, this whole play. And I think there's a lot of strategy to the game and lineups and matchups, and it's just a really great camaraderie sport. I feel like for young girls, it's just, I don't know, I'm passionate about it. I love it.
Well, I'm glad to see you survived coaching from Bill Tollett. So
We had a great run back then. My senior year, we finished state runner up my senior year. So we had a lot of great volleyball out there.
yeah, and that's one thing that we have in this area, whether it be at Eagleville or
Yeah.
at the 3A level with our larger high schools, or even right here with yourself and that school just across the way. I mean, the two of you have had some classic battles the last couple of
Yep.
years.
We have. And I think that's what's so neat too is, people see those rivalries for sure in those matches. But we're all very close. We, are at the, volleyball club together. We see each other on weekends. Deanna and I at Eagleville, played together. She was a senior when I was in the 8th grade. And yes, Macy at Blackman and, Mary Ruth at PCA. We all see each other outside of, our seasons in that volleyball community. So yes, we're all, a lot of great rivalry matches for sure, but all very close, like as a volleyball community.
Well, Nicole, let's talk about your team, how things have gone so far, and kind of where we are in the season. And are we a third of the way through? Have we started some district play? Kind of update us on how that's going.
Yeah, we have. So we, at this early September. So right now we are 13-0. Very exciting. And we are 4-0 in the district. So we have had, 4 true district matches. This year, the district went to playing each other just once throughout the district. We gained 3 schools this year, which made our district a little bit larger. We used to play each other twice. Mandatory twice. Now it's just once. So they're off to a great start. We had a really fast start to our season. We played BGA and FRA on the road, won that in 5 sets. It was a tremendous match. Then we played PCA at home and beat them, turned right around and played Friendship Christian, which is a region rival for us that we saw last year in the region Final Four. So we had a pretty intense, I would say 10 match stretch there for a little bit. And the girls they were amazing and battled through it, and, some tough matches in that little stretch, and they've done great. So, and we had the Cougar Classic in the middle of all that too. So this week's been a little bit lighter, but yeah, we faced the top, half of our district within the first week of our season.
So it's great to be 4-0 after doing that.
It is, yes. They're doing great.
So are we about midway through the regular season? Are we just under, just over, kind of where are we?
Yeah, so the last match of the season is September 25th. We actually play a region rival there as well. We will finish with Good Pasture, who we saw in the state Final Four last year. So that's kind of your ending of the season, that kind of 25th there of September. And then the next week begins the district tournament, that 1st of October. Of course, the following week is region, and then so forth. So the state, Final Four is about that 3rd week of October.
Well, you've said, this team that we faced in the region finals and this team that we faced in the Final Four last year. So my point about that is you came into this year with some very high expectations, or I think a lot of people have very high expectations for MTCS volleyball this year.
They do. This, this senior class competed for their first Final Four as freshmen. And that was I think a great year, kind of happy to be there. It was, school history. You kind of made it to the Final Four. their sophomore season. We played 2 back-to-back 5-set matches in a row. Tough loss there that year, and then last year as well. They made it back to the Final Four again. Really 4 great teams last year as well. North Point Christian went on to win it last year. Our team would be the only team that did not graduate any players last year. So we have the entire returning group back this year as well. So yes, I think they have been a part of it the last 3 years. They know what it means. They've been there many times. And so, yes, I think they have a goal in mind for sure this year.
Well, talk about your kids. Just whoever you'd like to mention here. It's always good to be able to get names on the air and mention anything you'd like to about them here.
Yeah. They are a special group. I guess you could probably tell, the way I feel about them. We have, like I said, 6 seniors who I've had just the pleasure to be with since they were in the 6th grade. Anna Clay Shirley, I'll just start with my hitters. Anna Clay Shirley's an outside hitter for us. She's been a captain, the last several years on our team. Just a tremendous competitor. Can't say enough really about her as a kid. Just always wants to win, always wants to compete. She's been a joy to coach, all these years. Jada Burns is our other outside hitter on that team. Same thing. They've been playing together since they were, middle school age. Jada plays club volleyball with my daughter as well. So we're, together quite a bit throughout the year. And she plays a big role for us as well. Her and Anna Clay both are our outside hitters for our team. And they do a tremendous job with our offense. Both of those girls, and just senior leadership. They've been there. They've been there. They know it. They know their roles so well. They do a great job. Addison Burks is our libero. Maybe you know what that means. She wears a different color jersey on the team. She's our kind of defensive captain. She kind of runs the entire backcourt, of our defense. Tonight, she actually got her 2000th career dig last week against Friendship Christian. And then Tuesday at Grace Christian Academy broke the school record for most digs on Tuesday. So we actually presented her tonight with a ball at the match tonight. So a pretty big accomplishment for her. But she's just a tremendous leader on our team and kind of runs that whole backcourt for us. And then Bailey Culpepper is our setter. And I would say the same for her in offense. Bailey kind of runs the offensive aspect of our team. Her and I do a lot of communicating throughout the match, and same thing. I've had Bailey, Anna Clay, Addison, Jada since 6th grade. We've been doing this whole offense together the whole time. And she's just a great, very steady setter and kind of runs that offense so well. Just easy kid to coach. Addison Sane is another senior. She plays middle blocker for us, and just a great kid. She has just infectious personality. She's always cheering. She's always, when she's off, she's everybody's biggest fan, and so easy to coach and so smart and just does her job so well. And Maddie Box is my last senior of the 6, and she's a defensive specialist for us. She plays a little back row for Jada this season, and she serves so well. I think the other night, I can't even remember, maybe she served 10 or 15 points in a row. And we were on the road at FRA, and one kind of closed out the match for us serving. She just gets back there and does her job, and she's a very steady kid. And just, like I said, she kind of rounds out our senior class of those 6. And then I've got a sophomore, Maddie Dare Grubb, who also plays middle blocker for us, and plays club volleyball as well, and she was a part of that Final Four last year as well. She started as a freshman, and she's a great middle blocker for us, just getting better every single year. I'm excited to see where she'll be, by the time she's a senior. She's doing a great job. And so, yeah, that's kind of our starting group. Kinley Dalton and Elise White both play right side position for us to kind of round out this team. Kinley Dalton is a junior at MTCS, and Elise White's a sophomore. So kind of have the 6 senior group up there, and then we kind of have a little sophomore, junior mixed in, and then I have a freshman that comes in and serves, Anna Clark Guerin, who's kind of makes the round out 11 of our team.
Very nice. Well, I know that the season has many ups and downs, but last question. Being mom and coach, that's got to be, we always talk to coaches about that, but it's interesting. It's also fun. I mean, it's something that you can share for a lifetime. And, there are a lot of special things about it, I would think.
It is. I never take it for granted, for sure, to have this opportunity with her. And Addison and I have always had just a great relationship. And, I always said even when I took this over in middle school, when I'm out there and, it's coach and we're in that environment, that the minute that we get in the car and the match is over, it is over. It's like, hey, what do you want for dinner? Let's go get Chick-fil-A. It's never not talking about that in the car. And so I've always been super mindful of that, to have that distinction between the two. But I think there's something special too about, being a coach's kid, and, she loves to compete, and like I said, she's a great leader on our team. And we just have a really great balance and dynamic between us. That, like I said, I have really cherished it all these years. And like I said, she's very easy to coach, and it has made it easy. And like I said, I always make sure that it's mom the minute that it's over, and coach when I'm out there. So it's been really great.
Well, lots of volleyball going on this week. The schedule on the MTCS Athletics website has varsity with PCA this week. Would that be right?
On Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
And later on or is that the only high school? I think that's all for high school. There's some middle school. There are 25 events from Monday through next Saturday. That's how many events just this week, whether it be volleyball, girls soccer, all kinds of things like that. Golf there at the PCA Invitational on Tuesday. Middle school volleyball plays Christiana as well when the varsity plays. You've got Franklin Christian Academy too, FCA.
We do, yeah. So I think I mentioned that earlier. The district went to playing each other just once. So us and BGA and PCA kind of all agreed to play each other twice, to kind of fill in those gaps of the matches that we would need. So last week when we played PCA at our place, that was the match that counted for the district standings.
Okay.
So we did kind of wrap up that match last week, but this will, like I said, be the second kind of matchup for us, but wouldn't count towards district standings as far as that goes. But Franklin Christian, new to the district, them, St. Cecilia, and Zion were the 3 that kind of joined the district this year. So yes, we're on the road there on Tuesday. We're so thankful for Beth Basham and Jason Piercy. They kind of keep us all straight with that calendar. They have a lot going on,
especially with this many events. And next Friday, of course, football back in action versus Grace Baptist out of Chattanooga. But Nicole, it's been fun catching up with you this morning. I'm glad we had this opportunity, and we'll have to make sure we spend more time talking in the future. Maybe we'll even get to do a wrap up of the season.
We would love that. Yes, anytime. Thank you so much for having me, for sure.
Very good. Thanks for being here. Our guest on Cougar Corner today, MTCS volleyball coach Nicole Burks. That's going to do it for MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. For my co-host this morning, John Dinkins and Danny Brewer, our producer has been Dalton Barrett. I'm Brian Barrett. Have a wonderful Saturday. Don't forget Middle Tennessee football at Wisconsin, 1:30 airtime today with a 3 o'clock kickoff right here on WGNS. Have a great day, great weekend, everybody.